All right, ladies and germs, it's time for the late night boxing talk. Gotta talk some boxing, son. And it's a lot going on right now. The AJ stuff, the Fury stuff, the Usyk stuff, the just a whole lot of stuff. So I wanted to do a quick live on this. Didn't upload too much content today. Wait for the list to populate. Yeah, I mean, brew a little bit of coffee. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, man. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world of boxing right now. I think what most people are talking about is renewed interest in an Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder fight. There is renewed interest, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't actually believe that fight is going to happen, and I feel like the recent interview with Deontay Wilder, where in so many words, what he says to Eddie Hearn is that we're busy. That's his explanation. Eddie Hearn reaches out to Shelly Finkel. Shelly Finkel, who was talking about the fight. Eddie Hearn reaches out because you talking about the fight. And when he reaches out, we're busy. So then I don't need to hear about Shelly Finkel mentioning Anthony Joshua in there. You see what I mean? Your manager's the one who's talking about that man. You acting like Eddie Hearn was just reaching out for the sake of reaching out when it was your manager that was talking about that man. It was your manager that said win or lose with Usyk, Wilder versus Joshua is still a huge fight that we would like to do it. And we're willing to go to the UK. That's what your manager said. I warned all of you. I warned that upon Deontay Wilder's return, we will be catapulted back to the year of 2018. I told y'all that the same stuff that we were seeing in the past, we was going to start to see it again. That all that name dropping and all that phone tag and all of that overall silliness, it was going to start over again because this is silliness. Your manager is the one that was talking about AJ. You making it seem like Eddie Hearn just opened up a cloud and out the clear blue sky. I'm going to shoot Chan the link. I'm going to shoot Chan the link, and it's going to be me and Chan on this one. Because I have to vent. As a boxing fan, I have to vent because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And I want Chan to have the expanded conversation about Fury's inappropriateness, the classlessness. You know what I mean? What's the difference between a man's prime and a woman's prime, age-wise and etc.? Okay, I'm going to tell you what prime really is. I'm going to tell you what prime really is. Prime is the height of physical performance. That's when you in your prime, at the height of your physical performance. Now, everybody's prime is not the same, but it is always at or around age 25 to 35. A man is usually at his strongest between those ages, between 25 and 35. But like I said, it's not the same, exactly the same age for everyone. And that means that you're burning fat, the best you've ever burned fat. That means your metabolism is the best it's ever been. Your level of performance is the best it's ever been. That's what your prime is. And that's usually between age 25 and 35. Now, we're going to talk about this shit, Chan. We're going to talk about this shit.
Let's go.
Fucking, see, this is the thing that pisses me off, right? They saw that Shelly Finkel mentioned Anthony Joshua ahead of the Usyk fight, that he was the one that was talking about it. Eddie Hearn was not talking about no Deontay Wilder. He was not using Deontay Wilder's name. He was not mentioning Deontay Wilder. It was Shelly Finkel that mentioned Anthony Joshua, saying that that's a big fight, regardless of whatever. It's a big fight. That started with Shelly Finkel. And Eddie Hearn reaches out based on your expressed interest in that fight. He reaches out so that Wilder could turn it into, oh, that's just Eddie doing this and that. No, it's
trying to lock me in. Yeah,
exactly.
they're trying to lock me in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here we go. 2018 all over again.
What I said would happen, because I don't have the sentimentality for Deontay Wilder's games that other people have, because to me it's childish, bro. If you want to live in a bubble to where fighting that man is not important, then cool, do that. But why is your people the ones talking about him? Y'all, it's your people talking about him.
Because that's what between Fury and Wilder. Whenever Joshua's in the picture, they're quiet. Well, especially Deontay Wilder, he has nothing to say for a good part most of the year. As soon as there's Joshua, That his team, that's what they do. We've seen the blueprint. They've been doing this. Okay, let's now tie our name to Joshua with no intentions of really trying to fight the dude. And the minute that they do try to make the fight, we're gonna switch it and make it look like that, you know, Joshua is not really serious. But if this is just another duck.
That's the game that they have been playing, which I said, that's the game they have been playing for 4 years. That you pretend that you want to fight, you keep pretending, you bring them up in interviews and people ask you about them, or you the one that bring them up. But when push come to shove and it's time to do the fight, it's always Wilder walking away. It's always Wilder. From the time to when he wasn't making no more than $1 million a fight, right? Because I remember all of it because I was watching all of it.
Right.
Wilder wasn't making not but $1 million a fight. They offered you 12 and you said no.
He said it's slave contract. That was a buyout. I didn't like it. That was a buyout. Remember? Remember we went through all of this like in the pandemic as well, and we went through all of this, bro. With this, and this just feels like Groundhog Day.
That's why it aggravates me because even earlier today, I was on Twitter. You know, I'll be on my social media shit. And it's the same conversation. It's the same talking points regurgitated. It was a guy that said, oh, DAZN tried to lock Deontay Wilder in, not realizing the only reason DAZN offered Wilder a multi-fight deal is because he wanted a two-way rematch clause. The first offer didn't have no two-way rematch clause. And he complained saying, oh, well, I want a rematch clause too. Okay, they're giving you one. They gave you a two-way rematch clause, 15 million guaranteed, 35%, then 40%. And you said no to all of that. Then they offer you 100 mil with a two-way rematch clause, and you said no to that. Now they reaching out to you again, and oh no, I'm busy. All right, fam, you don't want to fight, bro. You don't want to fight.
Yeah, I just think that they should just Eddie Hearn, just leave it now. This is what it's been said. Wilder's come out. And the thing is, he just doesn't even have the intelligence to even realize once he spews what he spews on Twitter, he actually gives the game away that you're ducking yet again, that you're full of shit. But his stupid crony little fanboys like take this as Joshua, that look, they was really trying to lock the king in, you know, because he's the king. And it's pathetic. I'm done. I'm not with it. I'm gonna turn the camera on for this, right? Check it. Eddie Hearn, if you listening to me, bro, listen to me, Eddie. Listen to me, Eddie. Stop playing by the rules, because that's why you and Joshua end up getting the short end of the stick. That's why Joshua frustrated right now with the alphabets, because Eddie and AJ are playing by the rules, and Wilder and Fury are not. That's why this is going on. That's why you feel like it's all this pressure on you. Now that you ain't got no belts, you ain't got no mandatories. Fuck them. I don't need to pay you a sanctioning fee for nothing, bro. When I want to fight for a title, I'm going to fight for it when I fucking feel like it. Not when Fury feel like it. Not when whoever feel like it. When I feel like fighting for a fucking title, I'm going to fight for a fucking title. Till then, y'all can suck dick, B. Y'all not getting 3% from me. No. Yeah, we're not giving you your highest payday anymore. We're not even going to make those offers anymore. Fuck you. Do what you want to do. We'll probably see him fight Fury again down the line. I can already see whatever. Who cares? We're not in it. Let's just keep it moving, right, George?
Eddie, call me, Eddie. Stop playing it. You want to play these American games? You found the right one, because you've been playing by the rules for 4 years. And if it feel like they always one step ahead of you, you know why? Because they don't play by the rules. AJ would never get away with fighting a Tom Schwartz. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
Or a Robert Helenius. Let's have it right. Let's even have that right. Come on. Tell the truth.
Look, Wilder get to come back against a guy that Dillian White beat, that Johan Duhaupas beat. He get to come back against that. If that was AJ, they'll be all over him. So you know what? You need to just do this. Get this finger and lift it. And lift it and hold it, and then take the thumb out. Take the thumb out. Bang.
Yeah,
fuck you, bro. Fuck y'all. Y'all don't be happy with shit that I do. Teddy Atlas made a whole 40-minute podcast about how Anthony Joshua is too gracious in defeat. Too gracious. So that when he finally loses it, we gonna attack him for that too, though.
Yeah, I know. This is what I'm saying. They don't hold him at the same time. So I saw that Teddy Atlas thing, but did you see him do the breakdown of that, the corrupt judge? Did you see him, like, you know? Yeah.
And Teddy, like, look, I don't. You know that this channel tries to focus on boxing, so I don't like to go into that realm where I tell you what I really think.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be one of them guys.
Yeah, I know. I already know what you mean. Yeah.
But I already know, Teddy. I already know, bro.
Yeah. No, we know. I've
known. You know what I mean? You know, I could see. I just look at it for what it is. The same way I started to notice. See, I ain't gonna front. I used to think that the UK, right, was like this advanced civilization where. I did know. I used to think that it was like me, George Jetson, flying cars and shit. But that, and over time, as I just kept paying attention year after year, and I started realizing, okay, now I understand. It's more overt, covert.
No, covert. Yeah, it's the same, but it's covert.
It's covert. It's covert.
Yeah.
And I see what it is. Like I see what it is now. I see Fury fans now. I know who you are. Like I know who you are now. Now I understand, because I always felt like Anthony Joshua, he's just a fighter. He's just an athlete. He is just a human being. Why do I feel like y'all hate him? Why do I feel that y'all hate? Y'all see him, and y'all hate. And at first I thought it was the silly list. Like, you know what? He fly as shit. He could pull your joint, and he fight good. So maybe that's why y'all resent him. And now I understand what it was. You didn't want him to be the face of Britain.
No. Now you get it. And this is what I was saying even 2 years ago when I was doing my commentaries on the Fury fan base and how they are and the things that they say. Like, even in my comment sections now, they're like, do you know what they're doing? Like, the British fans are saying, oh, it's certain things karma, like when George Floyd, and you know, they're taking it there. They take it there. So you know what type of people that you're dealing with. And this is what the UK is. It's just covert. It's covert, but it's there.
Now I understand what it was, because I always got an energy due to my psychic Capricornian power. These people hate something about AJ. I don't know what it is, but they hate something about him. And then I was making graphics, and I put a Union Jack behind AJ because he was popping at the time. And then I realized this is what they hate about AJ. They didn't want him to be the face of the UK.
Nope.
They would have preferred that it was cocaine addicted, lying, contradictorian, cheating ass, robbing John McDermott. That is what some people would prefer. And they're willing to ignore that you robbed John McDermott. They're willing to ignore that you tested positive for nandrolone. They're willing to ignore that you glorified drug addiction. You went to Rolling Stone and was bragging about how much cocaine you sniffed. This is why they're willing to ignore these things.
Yeah, because of what they want as their face of boxing for them.
That now I understand. You see what I mean?
I always said it. I always tried to make it that was a point. But, you know, people go, oh, but then you're just throwing in that card. No, listen, that card needs to be thrown in when it's valid. That's all. And it's valid.
Drew says, all men who hate AJ know he can take their misses. And that is facts.
About that. It's not. But like you said, you initially thought it was about that. But now you see it's not entirely about that. It's like they just don't want that face to represent UK boxing.
And that is what I began to realize in my travels of the cosmos. That now I understand why it's such a big deal whenever AJ something happens, because there's people that want him to fail because they don't want him to be desperately, because they don't want him to be like, think about what happened on Saturday, which is not a big deal. A boxer got mad that he lost a boxing match. It wasn't even the worst flare-up I've ever seen. It was still pretty PG.
But
it's, he's classless.
Yeah,
class.
Like you said, the nose in the air. These are the types. You have to pay attention to the vocabulary, to the adjectives, the terms that they use. Classless, petulant child. They basically they just want him to look like he's the epitome of the worst thing that you could have in the sport. They've acknowledged nothing that he's done, bringing the heavyweight division into arena fights and money. Without Anthony Joshua, I don't give two shits, right? Fury wouldn't even be Fury, and he came out before Joshua.
Let me say this, Chan, because this is going to be the AJ appreciation show. right?
We need one. He needs one, man. He needs one. And we're going to only be told
AJ
the facts.
Appreciation Show. And this is coming from an American. So I hope that they realize that, you know what I'm saying? That we ain't all morons over here, right?
Yeah, no, we do. We know that.
What AJ did for the heavyweight division, right? The heavyweight division would not be what it is today with the money that flows through it today without AJ. It really wouldn't. And I'm not saying that to be nice. It's a fact.
It's a fact. Yeah.
I'm turn the camera on, talk my shit. Let me talk my shit. Right? All right? Let me see if I got the shit. Do I got the shit? All right, I got the shit. Now, bang. Now, this is what I'm saying, right? When Wilder won that belt, I was here in America, right? Nobody gave a fuck. No one fucking cared, bro. Nobody gave a shit about Wilder and his green belt. You know when people started caring? Joshua versus Klitschko.
Yeah, for real.
You could pinpoint everything that the heavyweight division became to that singular moment.
Yeah.
Josh, because the world stopped. And that's why I always say that. The world stopped to watch that fight.
Yeah.
10 million in Germany. 10 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Here in America.
EPVs here.
Here in America, that fight got better metrics, better numbers in the evening than fights get today on primetime. That fight did over 600,000, damn near 700,000 views on a premium cable network in the middle of the goddamn afternoon. You can't get a fight to do that now on primetime.
Right, right. Have you ever thought of doing just like I know at the times when these things were happening, you was doing videos. Have you ever thought of just doing one constructed video of a whole timeline with all like the proof and bits and pieces? Because
I should because you know how I structure them. I do them in bits and pieces.
Yeah,
show things right. But if I sat down and look at this, I'm like, and they'll still deny it because this is the other thing about. Look, Fury is just a man, right? He's just a man. But what I notice about the individuals that like to argue about this, who follow me on Twitter behind ghost accounts that I regularly block, because as soon as I see you made an account this month and you have 0 followers, I already know what you're here to do.
Yeah, troll.
You know what I'm saying? I know what Drew says. AJ haters don't buy his pay-per-views like his supporters. Now, this is what I'm saying, right? Fury's birds of a feather flock together.
Right.
You notice that a lot of Wilder's fans are emotional. They don't even make sense the same way that he doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What I notice about a lot of Fury fans, well, a lot of y'all are junkies. A lot of y'all are low lives.
Yeah.
Like a lot of y'all are out of shape. Like I'm not trying to look, I ain't trying to knock nobody, but a lot of y'all cats really is on some everyman type of shit. Like, and that's why you want him to be the poster child, because you a liar.
You
a liar. The same way he's a liar. You mentally diseased the same way he claims to be mentally diseased. You are those things. Yeah.
You scumbag. You of ill character, just like he is of ill character. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's Drew, you gotta turn off the highway sounds, bro. Because I know you on the highway. I can hear the cars, bro.
I'm driving to the missus' house, you know, it's bullocks out here with these fucking Fury fans.
Hi, Chan.
Hi, AJ.
You know what I'm saying? I picked up on it, and yet, like I said, y'all know that I try to just focus on the boxing because I'm not gonna monetize hatred, and that's what that is. I have principles that transcend this little blue dot in the cosmos. I will not monetize hatred for personal gain. But if I'm gonna identify what I see, just what I see, now I get it. Yeah, there's people out there, they don't want that man to be the face of the United Kingdom.
No, they don't. And I always tell you, that's props out to you. You're intelligent, and you see the trees through the woods. Like
because I am the cosmic Capricorn. I see all things that can be seen by a man.
Where are my manners? Hey Jules, how you doing, man? What's up?
What up, fellas? So I look at a lot of the shit that's going on, and I'm gonna go back to America for this one. You got Deontay Wilder's fans who desperately want desperately want AJ to be the lowlife that Wilder is. What they hate about him is that he's got a lot in common with Wilder. They're both late starters in the sport. They were both Olympians. The difference is AJ was not protected. That's the difference. He was not protected. From 16-0, he's been in title fights. From 16-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Wilder,
I have to add to that, Jules. He wasn't protected, and he wasn't stupid enough to get hoodwinked like Deontay with all the dudes mooching off him and believing what he believes.
And the difference is, right, where Wilder is supposed to be this businessman, this entrepreneur, he's so smart, right? Homeboy, you get told what to do and who to fight and when to fight them and what you gonna make. You are an employee. AJ is not an employee.
He turned down 120 million. I mean, come on.
No.
Was that very business minded?
It's 170 million. You have to add the Rock Nation money.
You know what I mean? Now let me keep going. All right. You an employee. Wilder reflects, and I'm gonna get deep tonight because I want all the super chats.
You said country bumpkin. I was dying on your commentary, but go ahead because I was like, yep, talk your shit.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna get because I want all the super chats tonight. Wilder represents Wilder. Well, you know what Wilder really represents? The effeminate, meek males that dominate the populace today. His inadequacies as a man reflect the inadequacies of his fans. Because what kind of man, and I don't give a shit, what kind of man arches back and pop his ass?
Hello.
Please.
Hello.
Tell me, please.
Talk to him.
No heavyweight champion in the history of boxing has ever twerked. That is
ever do that again?
Behavior. That is not coming of a heavyweight boxing champion.
Listen, I tell jokes all the time. You know what I don't do? I don't work.
No.
I don't tell people I want to get pregnant. That if the technology,
oh God,
remember that?
Oh God,
technology comes out for me to carry a child to term, I will
flip it. If AJ said all those things and did those things, what would happen?
Oh,
I'm going to say this: Wilder is sus.
Me too, fruity. I said that from morning.
He's sus.
Him, his whole team, Malik Scott, all of them do some
sus.
And here's the thing: in 2022, I don't care if you're into that. The thing I have a problem with, like Jules talked about it. It's psychology therapy 101. You're projecting all your insecurities onto Anthony Joshua because he's a secure man, and Anthony Joshua is not afraid to be vulnerable to the public, whether it's in the ring or with his commentary. And Wilder projects all his insecurities. That interview with Ellie, Jules. You
got people that call this man a king, but here's the truth: you got your ass beat.
He's a queen.
You got your ass beat so bad that when you went to the press conference, you basically did this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
But AJ's mentally weak. AJ's mentally weak, right? Yeah. Okay.
Not only that, after you got your ass beat the second time, you went into hiding for months.
Now, I'm gonna get deep tonight because I want super chats. Wait a minute, Polo. I'm gonna get deep tonight because I want all the super chats. Right?
Polo, what's up?
In the book of Revelations, it says, "Up will be down, and down will be up." You see a weak man and you call him strong. You see a strong man and you call him weak.
Yep.
You see a man that deserves praise, whether in victory or defeat. Anthony Joshua deserves praise. Why? Yep. This heavyweight division has all this money flowing through it, and it ain't because of Tyson Fury. When it was his time to reign, you bailed with your fake mental health issues.
Yeah,
you fucking phony. You fucking fraud.
Yeah,
snorting coke and eating wild boar meat. You know.
Yeah. I told you the double standards, and welcome to the UK with the double standards as well here.
Hey Julius, how dare you talk about my king, man? Don't disrespect my king, Wilder, the best heavyweight of this generation. He's better than him, folks. He was unified. Oh, I forgot. He never unified. He had 10 defenses against non-top heavyweights, and he beat Luis Ortiz, the greatest Cuban amateur heavyweight boxer of all time.
But wait, Polo. All jokes aside, though, like what really made this even more cringe after he like twerked, he like turned around and put up the Black Power fist, like what the hell?
I'm gonna tell you something. Like everybody, silence. All right, silence. Wilder is the evil of the world. That's what he represents. Listen, you're not an honest man. You're not a righteous man. No matter how hard they try to sell that, we know you're a liar. And we know that the people that prop you up, they are liars too.
They're liars too, Jules.
Because it's not like I'm lying on the man when I say Anthony Joshua at 16-0 has been fighting in title fights. When you were 16-0, you were fighting nobodies. So you could try to turn around and project your inadequacies on him.
You was fighting nobodies until you was what, like 32-0.
All right? It's time. Salute to the panel. Salute to the panel. Diva Beyonce Wilder didn't want to play his part as the B-side to AJ. The twerkinator isn't realistic about his drawing power. Now, what you have to ask yourself is, if it's a business, how you fucking say, then how much fucking business sense does it make that you still don't want to fight AJ when you know you get more money fighting AJ than Robert?
Because he's a baby champion, Jules.
No, country. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you hate AJ. He is all the things that you are not.
You're jealous of him. He's jealous.
Yep.
That's all it is.
I agree.
We've been said that.
AJ, this is the AJ Appreciation Hour. AJ is a boss. You're not a boss. No. They tell you when to fight, who to fight.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Jules. I appreciate the praise. Thank you.
Jules, I respect Michael Hunter more than I do Wilder. Jules, I respect Michael Hunter more than I do Wilder because he actually went for the smoke. He actually fought better fighters than Wilder.
Bro, I'm going to say this. I tried to like Wilder. In 2015, there was a pocket of time between 2015 and 2017 where I gave him a break and I gave him a chance, where I said, you know what? Vladimir, a good chunk of his first couple of fights in the beginning, he had a lot of fights, not against a lot of good fighters, not in the beginning. So I'm like, I'm going to give Wilder the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to say from here on out, now that he's a champion, I'm going to give him a break and I'm going to give him a chance, right? And I did that. And in 2017, he betrayed me because that's when the bullshit started, the AJ shit. You jealous of that man. And I could pinpoint the moment where his heart broke. You went to the UK for Klitschko versus Joshua, and you saw that this man was loved. They here for him to see him rise. And you that's where your jealousy grew, because you knew back home you wasn't getting that.
You would never be loved like that, ever.
You weren't getting that. You weren't getting that, mate.
You wasn't getting that. Now I could have been okay with because a part of being competitive, there's a level of jealousy in being competitive. Like, I'm better than him. I want to beat him. I want to fight him because I know I'm better than him. This love he getting, I should be getting it because I'm better. If you wanted to fight him, I could have respected you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to fight him, you didn't want to fight him. You wanted to ride off of his success, all the while it was never your intention to fight that man.
Exactly.
If you wanted to fight him, I could have lived with that because that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
I could have lived with that. You didn't every time. See, these is the things that don't get said that I, in my infinite knowledge, right? Now, Jermell Charlo has had a mandatory challenger that he has been paying to step aside for the last 3 years because that's how bad he wanted to become an undisputed champion. Yordenis Ugas moved heaven and earth to ensure that he would be able to unify with Errol Spence Jr., whereas you tried to use Dominic Breazeale as an obstacle to slow down the AJ fight.
Yeah, that's all they've tried to do is blackball AJ and by default Eddie. That's all they've gone out to do. All of them, the PVC, even Frank Warren, Bob Arum. It's all their ploy. It's all based down to jealousy.
It's jealousy. Because whack posing ass motherfuckers is gonna be whack posing ass motherfuckers. You an employee, my guy. That's all you are. You an employee. They tell you what to do. They tell you who to fight. They tell you how much you're gonna make. Right?
They say jump, that you say how high.
Eddie Hearn gets the same amount of hate as AJ does.
Yeah, because they're a team.
But I'm going to say this, the reason that Eddie Hearn is, and I don't want to get political because I'm not a political person. To me, politics are farce in general. But the best way that I can describe the reception that Eddie Hearn gets, he is treated in the UK as if he is the liberal in America. because he represents AJ. You know, I don't want to get into the whole Democrat and Republican thing, right?
Yeah,
but the relationship and the hate that he gets is tantamount to, oh, Eddie Hearn is a liberal because he's progressive, because he's pushing women's boxing, yada, yada, yada. He represents the liberal in the UK, whereas Frank is the hard-nosed, old school, old UK Brit.
Yep. That everybody else, you even heard Frank, Julius, you even heard Frank say the same rhetoric about Joseph Parker. He's a foreigner. He's not even British. But he was okay when he was under Tyson Fury's frock for the last 2 years. It was fine then. But then you see when the mask falls off, you see the truth of who these people really are.
Yeah, because I realized that in myself, in my infinite knowledge, in my infinite power, I realized that the rhetoric from the Fury fans sounded very familiar. Very familiar. And it's tantamount to what you would hear from a hillbilly in America. And what's a hillbilly in America? What are they usually? You know, what are they usually? Oh, now I get it. Now I understand.
Bingo. Yeah. And you didn't even have to come over here to get that.
I am the cosmos, yo. I got the fucking Capricornian powers, son.
Jules, question: how do you do that, man? How do you get the Capricorn powers? Like, is there I
don't know, bro.
How does it happen?
You got to be born in January to February.
You gotta go deep within, man, and look within. That's the way you get it.
No, honestly, yeah, you got to look within, deep within. Look. Everything in life is patterns, right down to DNA. Everything in life is patterns. Repetitive patterns. The universe is patterns. The flowers that grow outside are patterns.
Like
DNA.
Binary.
So once you realize that everything in this world is a pattern, the behavior of ignorant people in America will also reflect the behavior of ignorant people in the UK and ignorant people everywhere around the world. So when I started to be like, yo, why does this feel similar? And why does it feel like this is not boxing for these people? This is something deeper. This hate that they got for this guy, there's something else going on here, and I don't see it. And then when I realized, well, wait a minute, you know, there is no such thing as a perfect society. You might like the UK, but you know, it ain't perfect over there.
You add the ignorance, and then you add, let's just be real, because this is how I am. When I'm dealing with lower socioeconomic peasants, they're all the same, no matter the complexion. Yeah. They all root for that guy. They all root for that guy based on, oh, that he looked like me.
They haven't outgrown that, because there's a lot of people that haven't outgrown that fleeting sense of community, because there's a lot of people
companies. Julius,
let me say this. There's a lot of people that have not outgrown that fleeting sense of community because they want to believe that it's not all on them. But when you're successful, you know what you realize? It's all on me. It's not my neighbor. It's not them and them and them. And because he look, man, fuck all that. It's on me.
Yeah.
It's on me. So that I've never been of that, oh, well, I got to root for the Dominican, because no, I don't. The fuck? Are you paying anything around here? No, fuck that.
If he doesn't match the same moral compass as you, then
bingo.
That's
let me hit y'all with this. Like, I have a relative, right? He's black, obviously. He watched the first Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk fight. He said to this day he thinks AJ won. And I'm like,
wow.
Bro, like, are you serious? And I know why. I know why he's saying this. And I've been trying to convince him ever since, but it's like it's just as pointless.
Yeah, there's no point.
Let me read the super chat. Bob said, "Remember when Windmill said Dillian White wanted his good pussy? And Malik Scott are butt buddies. Fury also may mention AJ's junk." And I'm gonna tell you something. That's another thing that gave it away for me. That's another thing that gave it away. We had this conversation the other day, fellas, and I said, look, when you know what you got, ain't no reason in this world you would be talking about another man's junk, not even if you're joking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if you're joking. So when you talk about AJ's junk, it's an old saying. There's a little bit of truth in every joke.
Yeah.
And there's and when I seen that Coogan Cassius shit, yeah, I thought it was funny because it's just a strange thing to say. Like, you probably got a big buck.
You're like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Why would he say that though?
That's what I said to myself. That I'm like, yo, Fury, you 6'9". What you telling me that you got a Pinto and you 6'9"? Because that is a very strange thing to say. I'm just being like, fam, you 6'9". What you telling me that you 6'9", but your meat is 5'7"?
Maybe.
Hey, Julius, you heard me? He did that to Francis Ngannou too. Remember when he fought Dylan White?
Yeah.
And what? Now, Polo. And what's Francis Ngannou?
He looked at it. African, like.
Why you keep asking these guys about their meat, bro?
Yeah, Francis Ngannou looked at him. Did you see Francis Ngannou's reaction? He started laughing like, "What?" He's like, "You got a big." And I was like, "Oh man!" He said that on national, like when he was talking to Francis Ngannou, and he pointed. Francis Ngannou started laughing.
It is the nexus of the evil, and there's tells. That is a tell. That is a tell. Why do you keep asking black men about their junk?
Yeah. you feel inferior somehow.
Boom!
Bingo.
Boom! And and this is the thing. I'm
inferior,
not
or he might
I'm
just
not,
be curious.
wait. I'm just saying I'm not of that mindset, right? I do not look at generalized views of entire groups of people. But what I am saying is Tyson Fury, as an individual, some part of him has some kind of penis envy thing going on. Because you keep looking at these big old strong black men and asking them about their junk.
Yeah. It's gay.
Is it envy or is it a desire to experience?
Y'all want to know what it was? I got a theory on.
I'm serious. Let's be real.
Y'all want to know what it was? Y'all want to know what it was?
Look how close. Wait. Look how close he is with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parkier.
I told you. Didn't I tell you? Listen, I told you. Joseph be standing too close to that dude. Every time I see Joseph, I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna get him. Tyson Fury is my friend, and Andy Lee is my friend, and I'm gonna get him.
Y'all want to know what it is? I got a theory. It's like I think what Tyson Fury was probably like, in his early teens, mid-teens. A black dude stole his chick that he was probably dating. That's what it was. And
no, I'm gonna tell you the circumstances, right? Because look, let's not get weird here, but let's also be honest. This motherfucker's packing in every shape and form. You see what I mean? Every like. It's every denomination. It's not like, oh yeah, ain't no Ron Jeremy. That Ron Jeremy was packing, bro. He was out here slinging dick and getting paid.
He's like these black dudes. You know what I
mean? But what I notice about Fury is, okay, Fury, you must not be, because this is not a joke that I would tell. Why would I tell that joke? Unless when I look down, I see 5'7" instead of 6'9".
Right.
That gotta be, because it's you a giant, bro. You a real life giant. You 6'9". So what you're a
fucking ogre.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Leo.
Okay. I was watching a video from Ava and Preach. Do you know their YouTube channel?
No, I don't know.
Okay, they were talking about this guy, Ethan Hawke. To make the story short, they say something that I don't have the means to know, because I come from Chile. I have never experienced really racial bias or racial profile. And they say something like this. Back 40, 50 years ago, you can argue that racism was worse than now.
Yes. You can say that.
But I don't know if the people here agree, but at least you knew that people that didn't like you because your skin color, you knew, it was because of that. Now, the language has changed. There are certain words that cannot be said.
Covert.
People get really sneaky about how you want to racial profile you.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's better or worse, but people they find a way to be racial. They find a way to be stereotypical about another ethnicities. They're not gonna use the N-word. They're not gonna say some fucked up shit. But for the people of color, I think I can grasp. You can grasp it. You cannot call him out, but Leo, you can grasp it.
There's a guy that I regularly see in my comments. His name is Stefan Schneider, right? And Stefan Schneider is one of these people. He's always pointing out about the LDBC channels and this and that and this and that. And he gets angry that I don't spend more time on that. You see what I mean? And, like, I get that they're lying, but I mean, my channel is not about them. So why do you keep harping about that? Like, why do you keep harping about that? And I said, you know, if you feel that way, why don't you start a channel? Yeah. And it's because you're meek. If you tried to do, like you're a beta male, essentially. You don't have the capacity. You don't have the capacity to impose your will. If you want to make a channel about these people, do it. Why are you waiting for me?
Yeah.
You're weak.
To do the dirty work.
Yeah, no, not the dirty work. He knows. If I do it, no one's going to care. No one's going to watch. So you want me to fucking do it? Fuck you. Fuck you.
He wants you to take the lead, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you, bro. I don't got time for that shit.
Your own channel.
Do your own thing. And I tell everyone this because it's not fucking rocket science. And in seeing how they choose to respond and how they choose to react, they tell me about who you really are. If I tell you to go do something, you either think you can do it or you can't. If you think you can't do it, beta! Because I'm not fucking building rockets over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like the real difference between, and I don't, you know, because it's such a generalized term, but the difference between the beta and the alpha, or for these archetypes, these societal constructs, whatever the fuck they are, the difference between A and B is A does not wait, B does.
B's the counterpuncher.
Simple.
A's on the front foot.
On the front foot. I'm not gonna fucking wait for somebody to make a video. Like, what the fuck would I look like waiting for somebody else to make a video about something that I want to talk about? I'll just fucking talk about it.
Right.
People tell you a lot about themselves with what they say, and how they choose to respond. And I'm not a judgmental person because y'all may not know this, but believe in God, right? Judge not, lest ye be judged. I'm not here to judge you. But if you're going to judge me, I will reciprocate that.
Yeah.
I'm going to reciprocate that. Don't
and
tell
you won't
me
like it.
me.
And you won't like my reciprocation. You won't like
it.
I understand that everything in this world is needed. The beta is needed. The sheep
alpha is needed.
Are needed. The sheep herder is needed. The wolf is needed. So I don't judge. But if you're going to bother me, and tell me about me, I'm gonna tell you about you. I'm gonna tell you what you do. You're a fucking follower. Why the fuck are you waiting for me to do something that you can do yourself? You fucking beta.
Yeah, because he's a beta and you're a leader. So he's
fucking beta. Period.
Yeah.
Facts. My point before was, some people try to behave themselves. They try, but if you interact with them long enough, you can see you are a bad day and 2 shots of whiskey to drop in that N word with a hard R, really hard.
Yeah.
You just need a bad day.
Yeah.
And you cannot call them out. Like, you cannot call out Tyson Fury for being a racist. But someone tells me, why are you so fixated on these black guys? And they suppose junk what they're packing? Why?
And what is something that is, it's like, you know, I'm not the virtue signal and I'm not the Cape Crusader. I am not here to fight for anybody's cause. I'm literally here to make money for me. You see what I mean? Yeah. I'm very honest.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's the best thing I can be to anybody that meets me. I won't lie to you. I'll be very honest. I am not here to fight for you at all, right? But I'm going to be honest. Tyson Fury, like, I know what you're thinking. Now I get it. Now I know what the problem is. And now I see why, underneath it, I always feel like, this guy's a scumbag. What is it specifically?
Yeah, you couldn't put your finger on it. Yeah.
And I could feel like this guy's a scumbag. Like, no, I don't believe in Glovegate. I do, because that's just stupid, you know? But I know that this man is a scumbag. And I know that his fans are scumbags because you're harping about Anthony Joshua selling a couple of nicks and dimes when he was a kid, but you're okay with him running around with a cartel leader.
Yes. Do you see?
Like, how you mad that he sold some nicks and dimes, but this doesn't bother you?
Yep.
No, I'm not against selling people drugs. Let me make that abundantly clear.
I know, but a buck.
Because Daniel, you can call me, bro. I'm here. Let's go. But I'm just, it's the virtue, you know, it's more like, this is me. This is one thing I miss about New York, that when I moved to the country, and you notice the difference. In New York, the same thing that Leo just said to a lesser degree. People go, if somebody don't like you, you gonna know. Ain't no fake shit. We don't got time for that. We gonna hash it out and it'll happen quick. What I noticed about when I moved to the country is these people eat each other and they do it in secret. They don't like each other, but they pretend.
They're backbiters. They're backbiters.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that, like once you leave the city, because in the city, I don't got time to be fake for you. I'm going to you gonna know I don't like you.
Yeah,
you gonna know.
Yeah,
but it's different now. They'll work with each other, stab each other in the back, which is why I became a nomad. When I moved, like I became a nomad, like literally I'm a nomad. Like, nah, I know not to let you get close to me.
Yeah,
I don't blame you, Julius. I don't blame you at all, because a lot of people in society are like that, man.
Jules, can I ask you? Okay, like I'm sure you know who the comedian Andrew Dice Clay is, right?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Like he said, he was in New York once, and he said, "I swear to God, it's like this. Like everybody's got." He goes, "You ask somebody at a time." He says, "Excuse me, sir, you got the time?" Then he looks around. I look like Big Fucking Ben to you.
Why look like Big Fucking Ben?
Type of like, well, you can't afford to watch, you fucking asshole.
The time, yeah.
But to that effect, is that what I noticed about living in the city and going anywhere else, is people are direct in the city. Everything is direct.
It is.
And everywhere else, it's covert. If they don't like you, it's covert. It's covert.
Yeah.
When I moved, like most people don't realize, where I am now, I don't look like anything. They literally don't know what I am. They literally don't know. And when I would start speaking Spanish, I would see some folk, they'll turn like they'll be surprised, because Spanish people out here don't look like me. You know what I mean? They don't look like me.
Yeah.
So, and I would notice the little things in the way that they would treat people. And they would come up, like one time here in the complex where I live, right? They got a pool. Yeah. And it was a, you know, and I don't want to offend any white people. I'm not trying to offend any white people, right? But it was a guy. It was some black folk in the pool, and he walked over to me. He said, "It smelled like shit over here." And I was like, I didn't know how to interpret that. It didn't dawn on me until after, like, do you think I'm Caucasian?
He probably did. He probably did.
Like, that's a bit crazy, because you don't look Caucasian though. But I mean,
they can't look. I'm being, and this has been a prevalent problem for me in more ways. Like people can't place me. You know what I mean? That's cool. It helps me move around. It helps me find out what shit really is. And when he said that, I just realized the more I learned about this place, certain symbols, certain tattoos that people have, certain things you see outside of stores.
Yeah.
I started like, oh, so there's probably like a thing around here or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's probably like a thing around here. I'm like, it's spooky out here, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Spooky out here, yo.
But Jules, didn't they just look at your hair and realize that you're not Caucasian?
They don't.
How was your hair? Didn't they just realize, oh, he can't be Caucasian? Well,
it's like my hair is weird. When it's short, it's spiky. When I let it grow, it's wavy.
Yeah.
But they may think, they could look at me, because people have actually confused me with like being Egyptian or Middle Eastern if I don't talk.
Yeah, but that's still not Caucasian, is it?
But to them, that's better than
being Caribbean.
That's how they mind work. And it's a lot of that. And the way that pertains to this boxing shit that we talking about is I just started to notice that this thing with AJ is a little bit overboard. Like, okay, the guy Like he's classless.
Yeah.
This has been the classiest motherfucker. The only motherfucker classier than AJ is Klitschko. And these are two of the classiest motherfuckers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Klitschko was a robot. That dude was a robot.
And like attracts like. That's why Klitschko likes AJ and respects AJ and vice versa. You know,
it's like you saying that because a boxer got so when Fury tells Rolling Stone about all the cocaine we can forgive that.
Yeah.
And he does some unprofessional, weak ass, bitch ass, hoe ass shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm mentally unfit. I can't fight. Here, take the belts back. Then you calling AJ a paper champion. This is why I despise Tyson Fury.
Me too.
When Charles Martin 1 year belt. Did you call him a paper champion?
No.
Nope.
You congratulated him. You gave him a hug. But when AJ wins the belt, he's a paper champion? Why don't you call Charles Martin a paper champion?
Yeah.
Then I realized this is some domestic type of hate shit.
Yeah, it is.
Matter of fact, didn't he pick Charles Martin to beat? He picked Charles Martin to beat AJ, didn't he?
Yes. Yes.
It's UK shit. It's UK shit. And where Tyson Fury is from, like he's from the country, innit? Like so their demographic is very different from London, where London and New York is very similar because it's a melting pot. So there's different. Do you understand? This is why when Tyson Fury calls people foreigners, it affects us as it gets our backs up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you would be classed as a foreigner, Jules.
No, I know. Look, if AJ is a thug, then Fury is a stick-up kid. Because AJ ain't the one running around with a cartel leader. They don't gotta ask AJ why you hanging with Daniel Kennedy.
AJ's not banned from the US. How about that?
AJ could come to America. Your boy can't.
Yep, he can.
Hey, Jules, Danny Lopez had a comment for you, man.
Let me see what Danny talking about.
Punch Drunk.
What happened to Punch Drunk?
He says, "Yo, Julius, I didn't know Punch Drunk boxing wasn't cool with you." He said, "I mentioned you one time on one of his lives because he was naming all these other channels, and he just started cussing me out."
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
Wow.
Well, that's not. Anyway, who cares? Moving along.
I don't know what I did to him. I stayed at look. I'm gonna be real. When all that shit about that car accident thing I didn't say nothing. You know?
Didn't.
And when people talk about him, I don't attack him. I don't say nothing.
Nothing. No, you don't.
I stay out of this shit. So if all of a sudden I'll be the bad guy. That's why I made that beat, because I'm the bad guy in everybody's story. I'm the bad guy.
Hey,
Jules, not the bad guy in my story, but
hey, Jules, you're just missing your hoodie, man.
Listen, I always did some shit. Even when I don't know, I always did some. Like, what the fuck did I do now? I should call myself and find out what the fuck did I do now. You know what it is? I know what it is. I've been telling him for years. Katie's gonna beat Amanda.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. I've been saying it for years.
You know what? There is this meme, and it had in these two were sitting there, and this one guy goes, you know, everybody's pissed off. What did you do to him? And the guy looks at him. Other guy looks at him and goes, "I told him the truth."
Yeah.
Yo, I'm glad you look. There's a scripture. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite proverbs. It's one of my favorite proverbs. And yes, I read my proverbs. And one of my favorite proverbs is, if you tell a fool the truth, he'll hate you for it. If you tell a wise man the truth, he'll put it to use, right? And what I love about the proverbs is how simple they are and how applicable they are. That, you know what? That's actually true. People hate when you tell them the truth. Yeah. If I tell you Wilder's a protected hype job, you're going to get mad at me. But am I lying?
Why do you think I played that clip on my show that with a few good men, you know, in the courtroom when he said, "You can't hear the country." Yeah, that's why I play that, because it's applicable to these motherfuckers. They can't handle the truth.
Sure does, man. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Danny say, "I ain't tripping though. I thought it was funny." Yo, I didn't even know about that though. I don't know what the fuck everybody problem with me is. It's look, it's like the mango joint. It's just people like hating me is the cool shit to do, which is cool. That's cool. I'll be that. It's all right. I ain't doing nothing.
So, Jules, what exactly are we appreciating AJ, or are we denigrating Wilder and Fury? I've kind of missed the train.
We're appreciating AJ while denigrating Wilder and Fury for not having the character of young Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's two birds for one stone.
Yeah.
Wait. I was thinking about what you say about people want to be lied. They want to hear the lies.
Yes.
And I was thinking about the 100 million offer from the song. The Stephen Espinosa and Wilder said in multiple occasions that wasn't fair for him to accept a multi-fight deal for just to get the AJ versus Wilder fight, and that in the surface sounds about right. Why do you have to agree to a deal of 3 fights, right? There were 3 fights, but if you look 1 inch further, you see those 3 fights were Dominic Brazil, the guy you were about to fight anyway, and 2 AJ fights. So in the surface looks wrong, but you go forward 1 inch closer to the story, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This makes total sense for you to go to the song for Brazil, the guy you were. They pushed that mandatory for you, and 2 AJ fights, a rematch clause, win or lose. So that shit that I think they use that word as slavery contract.
I'm going to tell you what, Leo. I think that Wilder was literally talking about himself in that recent interview, because there's no way, like nobody, like everything you're describing is what you went through. They told you to go to Fox. You see what I mean? They told you to do that. All right. They tell you who to fight. They are your bosses. Everything that you're describing is everything that you're experiencing. Simple as, bro. The only reason they even offered you a multi-fight deal is because you requested a 2-way rematch clause. The first time out, it was a one-off. There was no 2-fight deal. It wasn't the first time they offered him that money. It wasn't no multi-fight engagement. It was for 1 fight. You didn't like that. You wanted a rematch clause. That's what he said. It's on Boxing Scene. I could Google it right now. Yeah. You said you wanted a rematch clause. They gave you that. They even said, we'll do it in America if you want. They gave you everything you wanted, and you still said no.
And that's when DAZN wasn't even involved, right?
Exactly. That was just when it was Sky Sports and Showtime.
Yeah.
DAZN didn't even come into it till late 2018.
Yeah. That's
like everything that he asked for, because what initially, this is what happened. All right. Fast forward past the 12 million. This is in between the 12 million and the 15 million, right? In between that, right? This is before DAZN even got involved. All right. Wilder was sent the contract. Wilder said, okay, we will accept your terms. They sent Wilder the contract. Wilder sat on it for a week. The WBA then exposed Wilder by saying, Wilder has had this contract for a week and he still hasn't signed it. We've already extended the deadline for the Povetkin fight. He's already stepped aside once, but he's pressuring us. And now, AJ, you need to fight Povetkin. You don't have a signed contract from Wilder. You need to fight Povetkin. That's how that happened. Yes. And Wilder let it be known, well, the reason I didn't sign is because there wasn't a 2-way rematch clause. But fam, if you confident you gonna knock this man out, what do you need a rematch clause for? If you confident you gonna knock him out.
But that tells us everything we need to know then.
Exactly.
People haven't paid attention to this as much as I have. And I know that most people won't remember that in between the 12 and the 15 with the upside of the pay-per-view, it was Wilder who requested a multi-fight engagement. That wasn't them just doing that.
You need to do a whole video.
I did so many videos.
He broke them out.
Just fight all up in one timeline on these motherfuckers. One timeline.
I would have to make like an episode of the relay that's like a fucking hour to completely document all the bullshit from Team Wilder, all the sound bites. When Dan Raphael, because I know Dan's voice, When Dan Raphael asked Shelly Finkel, which is Wilder fans hate this fucking soundbite, he asked them, do you believe that it was an earnest effort from them to make this fight, this Joshua fight? Shelly said yes, but we don't want Wilder to fight on DAZN. And so that's what he said. We want it to be on a network where millions and millions and millions of people. That's what he said.
No, Jules. He said because when Deontay knocks Joshua out, we want millions and millions of people to see it.
There you go. Like, you basically admitted that, fam, they was trying to do this fight, and you the one that keep walking away from the shit, bro. Wilder represents all the inadequacies of today's beta male. That's why they fuck with him so hard. Because yes, birds of a feather flock together. All that weird sus shit, y'all on that weird sus shit, hanging around motherfucking dudes too much, man. Right? You get some pussy. Dude,
I mean, Jules, on some bro shit. I'm driving home the other day, right? I said, I get some gas. I see a dude in the gas station twerking. I walked up to him. I said, Deontay Wilder fan? He said, yep. Okay, bro, stay black. All right.
Listen, bro. Because Dillian White wanted to fight you, because that's all Dillian wanted. Dillian wanted to fight you, bro. At the end of the day, that's all Dillian ever wanted. He wanted to fight you. And you turned that into some, well, I'm this piece of pussy that he want to fuck. Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck?
God.
All that man want to do is fight you, and you turned that into some old crying game shit.
Yeah, man, that's sad.
He's sad.
Let's be real. I mean, like that. Honestly, when he fought Brazil, that should have been Dylan White, because the WBC, that was some funny business going on there.
Yeah,
that really was.
But it's also that it's deeper than that, in the sense that, look, if in an ideal world, shout out to Liam Rockwell, it's a business. I'm gonna leave money on the table. Exactly. Dillian White versus Deontay Wilder. There was a time between 2017 and 2019 where Dillian White in the UK is box motherfucking office. That fight sells out.
Hell to the yeah.
Can get it over the line. And a fighter that is confident in their abilities, that, like my man Devin Haney, right? Peep the strong shit that does not get appreciated, right? Devin knew America, Australia, wherever, bro. I beat you. It doesn't matter. I beat you, right? Confident young man, confident young fighter, right? Wilder, bro, if you really believed that you could have beat this man, or if your people believed in you, which they do not, that's why they protect you. If they believed in you, they would have sent you to the UK like, bro, Wilder will knock this man's head off. Y'all want the fight? You got it. Right? Yeah. But you never wanted no parts of that, man, because you just didn't want to know. With AJ, it's the same shit. For all the shit that your fans argue about every day, bro, you know in here, you didn't want to know. You didn't want to know. You told everything about your soul the moment that you went to that press conference with them headphones on.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, I mean, he hit a new low for me. He stooped to a new low for me when he did that.
So everything about you in that singular moment when you made a decision after you've been talking about this man, and you've been paying people to talk about this man, and you got all this cool fly shit.
You know what you had to say. You go there and do that.
You was in a room with that man. You couldn't find your voice. You told the truth of your soul.
That's another thing no heavyweight boxer in the history of boxing has ever done.
I'm trying to tell you, the truth of your soul was in that moment where you was in a room with this man that you claim cheated you. You claim all these things happened, and you could not find it. You couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. Where was it?
That was.
I want to say this. I don't want to be that much of conspiracy theories, but I'm going to say it. We have Pulev and Stiverne for the mandatory position a few years ago against Deontay Wilder, right? Okay, we have this top 10 contender. I mean, wasn't Pulev, was
Povetkin.
Yeah.
We have Povetkin and we have Stiverne. Okay, we have this top contender and this piece of trash semi-retired fighter.
Yeah.
So this guy, they find that this guy was using pets. So, I guess you don't have to fight this top contender. You have to fight this semi-retired fighter. A few years ago, after, we have Dillian White and Dominic Brazil. Dillian White was a guy with several wins against top contenders, and we have Dominic Brazil, who was not even top 5. So you have to fight Dillian White, a guy who is proven, and Dominic Brazil, who has been doing nothing for the division really. Dillian White
test positive.
Test positive. Oh, so you don't have to fight Dillian White. You have to fight this other piece of shit. That sounds a little bit suspicious, Julius.
Look, no, bro, but no, the test positive was after that. We can't conflate the two issues. No, and it was a false test positive.
Let's not conflate them, because I proposed that theory 2 years ago. I said, isn't it impeccable timing that when Dillian White is on the eve of finally cornering a Deontay Wilder fight, this adverse finding comes out? It's adverse.
Yeah.
It's not a listen, I'm trying to tell y'all something. You want to tap into the universe? Timing is everything. It's more important than what you're hearing. Timing is everything. Oh, so this is another fighter with an adverse finding? If you were really so averse to fighting fighters that have adverse findings,
you wouldn't have fought Tyson Fury.
You wouldn't have fought Luis Ortiz.
Twice.
Or Tyson Fury 3
times. Wait. Didn't he
Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury tested positive for the exact same performance-enhancing drug.
Let's not forget, Povetkin was acquitted. Povetkin was acquitted of the first one as well. Remember, he sued Al Heyman and PBC, and he got his money. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, didn't Wilder lambaste Luis Ortiz years ago?
Yes, he did in 2015. I did a video on it in 2015.
Yep. Wow.
But not only that, isn't that funny that every time one of your opponents gets caught by pets, the other guy you have to fight is a bomb. Is a fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Well, except for the last time when it was Tyson Fury.
And like I said that you know, now the revisionist version of history that a lot of it's really Fury's fans propagating this after all, because the only reason they're glorifying Deontay is because Fury beat him. And what they try to do is they make it seem like, oh, Wilder chose the tougher fight. That's what a guy tried to tell me earlier on Twitter. Oh, Wilder chose Fury because it was the tougher fight. And then I pulled out the screenshot of Deontay Wilder laughing at Fury, calling him pillow fist. Like, are you sure? Tougher fight? Fury didn't have a reputation as a puncher before that second fight, you know. Yeah. He didn't have he wasn't known as a puncher. He's known as a boxer, not a puncher. He's known as the guy who uppercutted himself. That's what he was known as. That's that clip of him punching himself in the face. You couldn't get away from it.
I had to tell a fan that the other day, Deontay Wilder fan. I said, "Well, the Tyson Fury fan." I said, "Well, I've never seen Anthony Joshua uppercut himself."
I'm telling you, you know what I mean?
Never seen Dillian White do it either.
They tried to spin Wilder and Fury, and it's obvious that was a cherry pick gone wrong. You're fighting a fighter who is battling obesity, cocaine addiction, and allegedly mental health issues. Does he sound like a top contender?
And an alcoholic.
So now you had the option. You had the option of fighting this cocaine-addicted, morbidly obese man or an unbeaten champion like yourself. And who did you choose? The coke ogre.
What was it? Okay. One belt, one champion. What was it?
One face, one name, one champion. That was it.
And never unified. What happened?
Never unified. And they don't even break like, yo, dog. Like, what happened to one name, one face, one champion, one republic?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
One world.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Fucking bullshit. Shout out to Ring and all. Is it me or are Wilder fans and Fury fans merging? Both bases. Yes, they are merging.
Correct. Bingo.
You're starting to see Wilder fans, right, defending the losses to Fury, and they have the stomach to do this. I don't. Well, he lost to the #1 heavyweight.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're doing that. I saw a guy on Twitter say, I saw a guy on Twitter say Wilder's one draw with Fury is better than any of AJ's win. I'm like,
what? What? Wow.
Excuse me, lady Chan. Can I ask you a question real quick?
If you can sort out that microphone, you can ask the question.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Are you building Autobots over there, bro? You building Autobots?
Decepticons transform.
Transformers.
Autobots roll out.
Terrible connection, I suppose. Is that better?
No.
A little better.
All right, Lady Chan, I have a question for you, or anybody who's from Europe, because I'm from Ohio. I don't really know this stuff, but do you guys use a lot of? Do you guys use a lot of crypto? Like, do you guys use it a lot more than we do over here in the United States?
Not to my knowledge. I don't use it.
So not particularly. I mean, we can pay for shit with it, but why?
Oh, I got a funny story for you, Jules. So, as you all know, I'm on Instagram now because I've been shadow banned off of Twitter. And
really? Oh, you have?
Yeah. So, yeah. But anyway, so one day I got a message from somebody claiming to be Anthony Joshua, right? And we got to talking for a while.
I got
and
that.
You too, huh? Did he offer you free tickets?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Something. Not him. It was Anthony Joshua's assistant. But
yes.
Go ahead. Yeah, but go ahead.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was actually curious. Is that really his assistant, that female?
No, it's not. It's a scam. No, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was so weird.
Like 2 years ago. Nearly 2 years ago. No,
Joshua's assistant never sent me a fucking email. Around this motherfucker defending his ass.
He hit me on Instagram.
Fucking shit. Better call me, Eddie Hearn. Send me some motherfucking tickets.
Yeah.
What was that the end of the story, or is there more?
Well, it was just weird that after all that was said and done, because they still wanted me to pay for the package that was supposedly coming to my house. It was just weird to me that right afterwards they had a free ticket giveaway. I don't know if you remember that, but there were free tickets for plane tickets and seat tickets for the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's a scam. It's a scam.
I'm sorry. I've got to say, I'm disappointed. You said that was going to be a funny story.
No, I could tell you a funny story. Can I tell y'all a funny story?
Go ahead.
There was a spam email going out from Demetrius Andre's Twitter account. A lot of people got it. And it was about a movie that is said to be produced. Something Justice or Stiff Justice or Hearts Justice. Sounds like a porno almost.
Oh, Lord.
And I got the thing. I finally got it. And I asked, well, can I be in the movie?
You ever heard of a TikToker called CC Rose?
No, I don't know TikTok.
Ah, okay. Yeah, she sent me DMs too.
All right. Well. So I asked Demetrius. Can I be in the movie? And he says, well, it depends. Can you act? And it was literally Demetrius Andre.
Damn.
I remember something about that film being made.
That's funny.
No, because I thought, look, I didn't know that he was really producing a movie until I saw, no, they really are producing a movie. And even though this DM is spammed, it was really him that responded. You know what I mean? Like, it was literally, I was like, I want to be in the movie.
What movie is this?
Something Justice, like Stiff Justice or Hard Justice.
They need to change that. They need to change that title. I'm sorry. They need to change the title.
That title sounds like it's a thingy film.
It's something. It's like something Justice, like something, and it's like
it's based in the prison. It's based in.
What is it called? Is it called Justice for Yanny Beck?
Look, I don't know. All right, look. Fists of Justice. There it is. Fists of Justice. That's
that's even worse. That's even worse. God. Oh, that's even worse, man.
That sounds like a kung fu film.
Oh shit. Yeah. No, and I asked him, can I be in the movie?
It sounds like a 70s Chinese kung fu flick.
It really does. I asked him, like, well, can I be in the movie? I want to be in the movie. I like acting. I like movies. And he was like,
why are you in it then?
I'm not gonna be in the movie. but just weird things that go on the internet, man.
Don't ask me. Says backdoor justice. Now that sounds like a
oh, bro.
Yeah, no, that's not the movie you want to be in.
No.
Like, look. Tonight, the theme of tonight
sounds like a Wilder movie to me.
Yeah,
the theme of tonight is that look, I try to keep it boxing, but in surveying the boxing landscape, there are certain things that are going on, and they are noticeable. When I see the media, blow up Anthony Joshua's outburst this Saturday to these ridiculous proportions, when these other guys are doing way worse. What Wilder did to Mark Breland, you could literally sue him if you wanted to.
Absolutely. I
you
would
could
have.
literally sue him for slander.
I would have if I were him.
AJ, we said that on the show yesterday.
Yep, we did. We talked about it.
Yeah.
That is outright. That is outright defamation of character. Your damages. All right? Because you're accusing a trainer of drugging you with no proof.
Yeah.
No proof.
Yeah.
You fired him.
Not only that, Jules, he was a double agent.
Hold on. But to bring some context to this, because I'm gonna be the context guy.
Uh-oh.
No. Look, one is clearly a lot worse than the other, but that doesn't excuse the lesser one from still being a bad thing. Let's just put that out there.
Let me say this. No. Let me champ the shit because it's simple, right? It's not that big a deal, and it's not that bad a thing. It's just not. You've seen worse in the United Kingdom.
Worse in my house.
We've seen worse post-fight interviews.
Derek Chisora
I have bigger outbursts in my house.
Derek Chisora through a table.
That doesn't make it any less wrong.
David Hay and Derek Chisora literally got into a fist fight, and he literally chinned him. And we're gonna lose.
They were talking about getting matches and everything. I don't want to say the G word, but they was getting matches. He said, "I'm gonna come and shoot you." You get me? They went to that level. Nobody said nothing though. Everyone was like, "Yeah, that's a good stuff."
I notice it because I like base. I'm a Capricorn, but I'm the eternal Capricorn. So perhaps base does not see that this story is being mistreated.
I do see that. I've not said I don't. What I'm saying is, just because one is being conflated more than the others, it doesn't mean.
Don't you notice how hard they are on this man? Don't you notice it?
Of course I do.
That's what I'm saying. If this guy, if he had a tantrum or whatever they want to classify, because some people
either. How about that?
Won't come to America now.
Nothing wrong with that, right? You know what I mean? This dude literally had a 2-year throwing toys out the pram. You don't appreciate me. I'm a gypsy and you're mean. Oh, bitch ass shit.
Yeah.
Bitch ass shit.
That might stop beaming in. Whatever that noise is, it's really grating on my whole soul.
I mean,
man.
Are you cooking with the air fryer or
something? I want to say something really quick. Look, I have heard before that when you spend too much time on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, you always hear the same feedback that you want to hear. You always say the same videos, the same content coming from the same people that reinforce your beliefs.
Yes. I
was watching some time ago Joe Rogan. I like Joe. I like him.
I like Rogan too.
Yeah. And one video pops up about this guy, Ethan Crane. He was attacking Joe Rogan for what his podcast. I don't remember what, but I say to myself, okay, I'm gonna hear this guy, what he has to say, because maybe he's telling some truth on that. And I hear this guy 2 minutes, and I hear 5 lies in a row. So, what my point is that people don't know. Some people cannot recognize when a guy is full of shit. They cannot hear and analyze what they're hearing, what these people are saying, and they cannot make a judgment on what they're saying based on the facts, what they are actually saying. They cannot do it. They're only what they're trying to do is to reinforce their own beliefs.
Confirmation bias.
No. I'm gonna give you some cosmic knowledge, right? The truth is of God. The truth, right?
Yeah.
So if the truth is of God, what does that make the lie?
Mentirosa is el diablo.
Right? So what does that make liars?
Devils.
What does that make them for propagating lies?
Devils. It's just all demonic.
Simple. It's not like none of it is complicated. You have people that are willing to say things like, for example, I saw people saying things about me that weren't true. Blatant.
I mean, Jules, wait, Jules. You remember a while back you had us all put up a tweet or you tweet "Ring Accuse a bitch." Bro, you would not believe how many likes that got. And people came out saying, "Oh yeah, this guy, I never liked his channel. No way. This dude is a fake." I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Social experiment. You have people. Listen, if I show you the stuff that people sent me about stuff that is completely made up, right? So you're willing to lie just because you don't like me? And what do I normally do? Just tell the truth. What does this make you?
What do you really do but sit in your room and talk boxing with us nerds all day?
Exactly. And for that, you have to lie about me? Don't you think that's extreme?
They're sad. No, it's just that they're sad.
It's not extreme?
Jules, you remember a while back that dude, what's his name? Best Fight the Best. And he was like, bro, I want your address. I want your
and what did he do? And what did he do for an hour? Yeah, I'm gonna go over there. An hour later, sitting on his couch.
Yep.
Like, bro,
right after this live, I'm about to
right, and then sits on his couch live on YouTube for an hour.
Yep.
You can't listen. What's happening right now to society, it is devolving, which is why I often talk about the 25th dimension, right? The 25th realm, or whatever the fuck they called that experiment, where little by little society started to come apart at the seams because the fabric of what made a man and the fabric of what made a woman, it started to disassemble because there was an abundance of things that you normally have to work for. That's it in a nutshell. Yeah. What the experiment basically reveals is if these animals don't actually fight to survive, they lose what makes them men. They lose what makes them women. It's survival instincts and this evolutionary trait, the need for survival, that if we just give them the food and we just give them the water, something happens when they don't have to earn it. And that's where we are as a society.
That's why when you put animals, you know, when you have like animal sanctuaries and you take
captivity,
you can't ever release them back into the wild because now they've lost those instincts of hunting, things like that, because but you're trying to conserve them, so there's pros and cons, and that's what's happening to us as human beings,
as a society. Where we are right now, right? For example, I use the Wilder thing. Wilder wants to be made a victim for a choice that he made. He doesn't want to own up to the decision that he made or the decision that was made on his behalf, because he doesn't fucking make any decisions.
None of the PBC fighters do.
Yeah, man.
None of them.
None of them do. And it's like they want to, that in effect is kind of like what I'm talking about, that bro, it was your decision. You have to own up to that. Or it was the decision of your team. You have to own up to that. You don't want to earn anything. You want to be given sympathy. But for what? You chose this fight. You chose this for yourself.
He probably wishes that he got a split decision loss against a high-class fighter instead of knocked out by a 6'9" goofball.
A coke-ogre. But look, I'm not trying to vilify the man. I'm just saying that as a man, one of the things that makes a man is your word is your bond. Your word is your bond. That's one. And two, you got to own up to shit, bro. Whatever happened to you was not an injustice. You are not the victim of an injustice. You simply made a bad decision. That's the question.
I'd have to say what was most funny and most rewarding was the Wilderette fans' reaction when he got beat.
Oh yeah, that was fucking gold, bro.
Everybody lost their minds.
They cried. Yeah, they fucking cried, man.
No, I got a question for the panel. I want to see, and it's not a trick question. It's not trolling anything. I just want to ask: Does anyone actually think, right, that Deontay Wilder really processes and understands the amount of money that he's missed out on in the last 4 years? Like, really deep down?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
I do.
No.
Because that's why he's coming out saying the things that he's saying.
Because he knows what money he's missed. For sure.
I think I believe, I wholeheartedly believe that it has taken him this long, or it has taken it this long to register with him what actually happened. That the beating that you took was the path that your own people put you on. And when you say that you don't know how to trust, believing fake stuff, right? That he was supposedly talking about AJ. In reality, I felt like he was talking about himself.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Because it was your own people that guided you away from AJ, who maybe you would have won. We don't know. It's heavyweight boxing. We don't know. Maybe you would have won, or maybe you would have lost. But either way, you would have made more money.
Exactly. That's a fact.
I always thought that boxing was about making the money, not, you know, constantly putting yourself up in these showboat fights.
No, that's the way. I mean,
well, it was about making money, but back in the day, they would like to make money alongside with legacy.
The real thing with Wilder and the PBC is they wanted to create a biosphere where they don't need to interact with other people's fighters. So when you think about how Wilder was managed, what they were attempting to do was make him a draw unto himself, irrespective of Anthony Joshua, without actually fighting Anthony Joshua. But they kept using the synergy from an Anthony Joshua fight to try to build him. They created that expectation that, like, dog, you the one who's always talking about this fucking dude in interviews. You the one that's always talking about this cat. All they're trying to do is fight you.
I mean, just imagine if he had actually fought Anthony Joshua and beat him.
Exactly.
Just imagine.
For him. And when they asked Anthony Joshua question, when you see Anthony Joshua interviews, he hardly ever mentions Wilder. And when he does, he tries to, you know, kind of like either deflect it or just, you know, just give like a PC correct, like, you know, I wish him the best and that's it, moving along. Yeah.
The way it is now, what may end up happening is if Ruiz beats Ortiz and Wilder beats Helenius, Wilder will then fight Ruiz, at which point, if he knocks out Ruiz, you can kiss that Joshua fight goodbye. Like, literally.
He knocks him in the side of his head with his hook to his fucking bus air drum, because you know that's his sweet spot as well, and just fucks him up and lays him out. I wouldn't put all bets on Wilder beating Ruiz, by the way.
Ruiz has the only reason I say that is because styles make fights, right? Yeah. Wilder's best punches are his straight punches, and Ruiz has slow feet. Unless he has corrected that and he's different than he used to be, I'm going to assume that this guy's going to be in line for the right hand. I'm going to assume that. And the problem with that entire scenario is what it will then become is, oh, Wilder doesn't need AJ because he knocked out Ruiz. So that proves that proves that me, bitch ass shit.
Yeah, well, you're still broke in comparison, and see you later then. You don't need AJ. AJ never ever needed you either. Quit pushing.
What frustrates me, honestly, is that in his entire career, how many top 10 heavyweights has he fought compared to AJ?
What frustrates me is your mic. Please sort that
out. Damn.
Oh shit, man. What the fuck, dog?
It's late. I'm Aggie. I apologize. I'm not normally like this.
Damn, base.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh shit! But I mean, yeah, I guess what chaps my ass about it, the main thing that chaps my ass about it is, Jesus Christ, all this to get out of a fight? I mean, come on.
I mean, you might as well just admit you don't want to fight the man. I mean, like,
yeah, like if you
you know,
for 4 years of this, all you had to say was, I don't need him. That's it. I don't need AJ. Fuck AJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
And move on, bro, and fight whoever you want to fight after that. You actually went on a slander campaign to convince people that he's afraid of you, that he doesn't want to fight you. That's what aggravates me about it. They're like, dog, if you just wanted to stay on your island, You didn't have to slander the dude to do that, but you did slander. You tried to really make people believe that this cat is scared of you. All the while, you keep rejecting every offer they make you.
And they believe it as well. That's how dumb his fan base are.
I mean, all you have to do is connect the dots across. It's not really hard to figure out what's going on.
Well, if you think about it, Wilder always took the easiest possible fights.
Yes, he did.
Hellenius was his former sparring partner. He knows him very well. He knows the ins and outs, his weaknesses. He knows he's going to beat him. That's why he's fighting.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for
exactly.
That,
okay, but to be fair, he's coming off 2 consecutive knockout losses.
Oh, what?
I think Hellenius is a decent fight for a guy that's
in the spirit of objectivity. I do agree with Leo. I don't think the Hellenius fight is a bad fight, right? But I know that if it were Anthony Joshua fighting those same circles, they'd crucify him.
Yeah,
exactly.
Him. And that is why I say, fight your former sparring partner, Otto Wallin. Fight him, because there's value in that fight. If they're going to play this game, and I know that's the game they're playing, they want Wilder to knock out Ruiz so they can lord it over you. So you fight Wallin and knock him out so you can lord it over the man that beat Wilder. Not you.
Jules, remember, I put that on Twitter. If that fight happens, I want it stated I was the person that suggested that first as the comeback fight.
Well, I didn't fucking see that shit.
You know you did.
I did.
We're not doing this Capricorn on Capricorn confusions tonight.
But a question, fellas, didn't Joshua beat Wallin twice in the Emmys? He did, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But look, we know what the reason I say that he should fight Wallin, right? This is the thing. If Fury beats Usyk, and I'm not going to pretend, I don't like Fury at all as a human being, but as a fighter, he is formidable. He does stand a chance. He stands a good enough chance of beating Usyk. That's just the truth, all right? Because of how he fights. I want Usyk to win, right? But I have to be honest. I have to entertain a scenario where Fury wins. If Fury wins, he wants that AJ fight for the aforementioned reasons we've been talking about. He wants to show the world that so he can validate himself because he has an inferiority complex, which is why he keeps asking people about their fucking penises. All right? All right? Why are you asking Francis Ngannou about his penis? In what way? Is like, for what? For what?
Right?
Don't forget, he suggested that him and Dillian were sleeping together. The
press. Oh yeah, he did say that shit. The Dillians are like, whoa, hold on, bro. Back
to the boxing.
Yep, sorry.
If we are to entertain a scenario where Fury perhaps wins an Usyk fight, right? AJ needs to build that confidence within himself. Fury couldn't knock this man out. I did.
Yeah.
I did. I don't need to, because what I don't like about AJ is I get the sense that he looks at himself through the eyes of his critics. And I was, a lot of people have different upbringings. I was taught you never do that. Don't look at yourself through the eyes of the people that hate you. You doing that.
Because one thing about I was telling Chan this one thing about AJ that bothered me. Like he said that when he fought Ruiz at Madison Square Garden, he said he was trying to one up Deontay Wilder because of what he did to Dominic Breazeale. I'm like, what the hell do you care for?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Years ago and took us. Oh, who cares? What is it about?
Now, what you do now, what I want, like, if I could talk to this cat, he probably ain't gonna listen to me anyway. But if I could talk to this cat, I would tell him, like, yo, dog, you need to start playing by your own rules because that's what your enemies have been doing.
Yeah.
Eddie is over here playing by the book. Meanwhile, backdoor deals are getting done with the WBA. They're getting done with the WBC. You don't have them deals. You don't have them relationships. If it feels like everyone is against you, it's because you're playing by the rules and they're not. That's what's going on. AJ, you keep trying to fulfill this perfect standard. All the while, your contemporaries ain't perfect. Fury picking Tom Schwartz instead of you. They let him get away with it. When Fury signed the top-ranked contract and the Wilder rematch got delayed, they didn't give Fury any stick. Like, bro, you available to fight AJ right now. Why don't you fight him? And they let him get away with it. So stop looking at yourself through that lens and playing by their rules. Play by your rules. I want Wallin, not because of Fury, not because no. I'm setting it up to where I get my shit back. I'm gonna get on my shit, my Watford shit, my leather jacket selling cocaine shit. I'm on my shit, and I'm gonna knock him out. So when you see that I knocked him out, you gonna need to think about that. You went 12 with that man. You couldn't stop him. He went in there with me, and I stopped him. They need to put the fear of God in Fury. They're like, fam, you only have an unbeaten record because you robbed John McDermott.
Yes.
Arguably, the fight with Wiley, that probably should have been a loss too, because Fury's cut. Remember that?
You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. You guys have only gotten to the point to where you got to because of angling. None of you are as good as you think you are. Fury, you should have a loss in the column. What would that have done to you psychologically? You'll never know because you robbed that man.
Yeah, yeah.
Joshua over here feeling sorry for himself that he's not living up to expectations. All the while, these two bumbling idiots, these two fuck-ups think they're God's gift of boxing.
I know. Exactly. I know. At least
like don't sit around crying that you couldn't do it, bro. I understand the passion, like I get it, but I also see that like, yo, dog, you looking at yourself through the eyes of people that hate you, that you couldn't live up to that. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
Jules, does this count as a blemish still on Fury's record? The fact that he's got a draw on there.
No, yeah, that's a blemish. A draw is a blemish. A draw is a blemish.
Yeah, okay. I was just thinking to myself, I'm sure that's a blemish. But yeah, just wanted to hear that confirmed.
Yeah, like that's the like people don't think about things in the proper context. That Fury is not an unbeaten fighter. I don't care if you were 10-0 when you fought. It doesn't matter. When Anthony Joshua was 10-0, did he have to rob somebody to keep an unbeaten record?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But you did. That's the only reason you an unbeaten fighter. That's it. The only reason you didn't get nailed to the wall by UCAD is because you absconded for 2.5 years.
Is he still considered?
No, you cannot announce a retirement.
Right.
Two times and be lineal. No.
Yeah, he gave that up.
Usyk is lineal. Usyk is lineal.
Everyone's like to me, no, he's still lineal. I'm like, I did a video on it, and everyone's like, no, he's still lineal. You know, the fucking.
Don't believe that. Ring Magazine called him and asked him outright, "Are you retired?"
Yeah.
He said yes, and here is your belt.
Yeah.
Hey, is my mic better?
Got you.
Kinda.
A little bit.
All right. Did they hand Usyk the lineal belt when he beat AJ the second time?
Ring Magazine, yeah. The Ring Magazine, yeah, that was there. That was there.
So Ring Magazine is tied to lineal?
It's supposed to be.
Kind of.
The Ring Magazine is supposed to be a physical representation of lineal status. In reality, they're mutually exclusive. For example, Adonis Stevenson was stripped of the Ring Magazine belt because he hadn't fought a top 10 in 18 months. But he was still lineal, even though he didn't have the ring. So there's circumstances where they can be separated from each other. But basically, the ring is supposed to be a physical representation of the lineal title. And if you go out of your way to keep telling people you retired, guess what?
You're not lineal.
You're retired. You're not lineal.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why Fury's fans care so much about him being lineal when he told y'all he don't care about that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He said that. I don't care about legacy and none of. He said that, and you bozos keep propping him up because something psychologically, same way something wrong with him, something is wrong with y'all because he told y'all he don't care about that shit.
Exactly.
He told y'all.
I mean, it's if they try to act like being lineal is more important than actually holding a legit world title.
Yeah. Because that's what he was marketed as coming back by. Oh, he's the lineal champion. As soon as he got that WBC belt, you never really heard him.
Heard that, yeah, exactly.
The real duration of Fury's reign as lineal champion upon his return spans after the second Wilder fight because they were basically Joshua lost to Ruiz. So in some, but not all rank standings, Fury and Wilder were number 1 and 2, right? So let's play with that. Let's go with it. Let's say, okay, since you're number 1, he's number 2, this fight, this rematch that you guys are about to have is for lineal. All right, from the moment Fury beat Wilder in the second fight, now you're lineal because he was number 1 and you were number 2. And that lasted all the way up until the Dillian White fight. Why? You retired after that. Whether you're playing around or not, you literally announced it. You don't be you cannot come. Oh, I'm lineal because no, you retired, bro, and you kept telling people that. So all right, you retired, bro. He lineal now. Yeah. And that's why I commend Ring Magazine for doing what they did, because they're not going to entertain your shenanigans the same way that the WBC is entertaining your shenanigans. Yeah. If you're going to tell the world you retired, we're going to operate on the assumption that you're retired. If you unretire after that, that doesn't change what you said. Yeah. You said you were retired. So,
but like with the WBC, it's like they still, are we going to give you 10 days after he announced tour retirement? Like, what are you still giving him more time for? Why don't you just strip him, rather ask, okay, bro, what's the deal? You gonna fight again or not? Because if you're not, we're taking that belt. We're taking that fucking belt.
And the reason that Fury is doing this fake retirement stint is because he is using his retirement as a bargaining chip to get as leverage for an increased purse. That's really because I wondered why is he doing this? And oh, I get it. So you're trying to get more money out of the deal by telling people you won't come back unless it's a certain. I get it now. Like,
he knows he ain't getting a $500 million or whatever.
Of course not, bro. Ain't nobody gonna pay that blubbering idiot $500 million.
I mean, what's funny? Let's just say hypothetically, like he wants
for the penciled in date, December 17th. I heard
that too. I heard that too.
50 million and Fury's guaranteed 50 million. That is what the Daily Mail's reported. Every time I use the Daily Mail as a source, trust me, it's breaking news. It always comes to pass.
And 50 million, I'm just telling you, 50 million, it won't be enough. It won't be enough.
But then, he's going to get upside.
I'm telling you, it won't be enough. The reason he's doing what he's doing, at least I think, is look, AJ and Usyk got 75 million guaranteed, but because of AJ sponsorships and endorsements, he actually got 119 million. Damn. All right. Do you think it will sit well with Tyson Fury being the way that he is, that Anthony Joshua in defeat got more money up front than he did? No. Than he stands to. He will not. I don't believe for a second. I'm not saying fear, scared. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he wants more than 50. That's what I'm saying. I think he wants 100 million at least up front.
He's not going to get that. I don't see him getting that.
I don't know. That's why you don't see me jumping to conclusions and shit, because I'm like, look, just because Frank said that the Saudis haven't put a bid in yet, that doesn't mean they will later. They might.
If the Saudis get involved, that money might get high.
Exactly.
But Jules, but the news reported, the breaking news was that the deal is in Riyadh. They have made the deal with the Saudis. They have, even though they're saying it on Frank's side, they're saying no, there's no deal been made. You know what they did with the Wilder thing? There was a deal made already, and then the next day it was signed. This is already done. I'm telling you. I
don't think the Saudis will get involved. And the reason, I understand that, Daily Mail, but the reason I don't think the Saudis will get involved, they're trying to change the public and the perception of their country and their region of the world, right? So they're looking at people who can be marketable to their audience and to spread their message. Do you really think, based on what Tyson Fury's done recently, plus the history, that they really want him back over there as their marquee person?
Maybe not, but if it makes money and it makes sense to them and they get the undisputed fight,
it won't make money. That's the problem.
Let me champ the shit. This is the thing. I disagree about the image thing, but it's the money thing that I'm looking at. That people don't want to understand that AJ is a fighter that can bring you the money back. He is that. He can bring you the money back. If you give him 75, he can bring it back globally. Fury is not that. Fury came to America and lost millions for Top Rank. Millions, all right? So I don't even know, and I'm not jumping to I'm not going to make bold proclamations. I just know that when Top Rank spent all that money, Fury didn't bring it back. He didn't. So how are the Saudis going to look at that? Like, do we really give this guy? Do we give him 100? I don't know.
I don't think he's going to get that much.
150 million for Usyk 75. Tyson Fury 75. That's
because if you put up 150 for, and remember the split is said to be a 50-50 split.
75 milli each.
So what? We're gonna give Fury, let's say, if we give Fury 150 million, what we gotta give fucking Usyk 150?
No,
this is
have to split the 150 milli 50% each. So what I'm saying is probably that it's going to be 75 milli for Fury, 75 milli for Usyk.
They don't want to lose that money.
That's what I'm trying to get at. That if this guy wants, say, 150, well, I guess we got to give Usyk 152 because the deal is half the pot. So a $300 million pot? This is not a $300 million fight.
No, Chan's saying 150 total, 75 to both. But even that they won't do because Usyk can't bring them back 75 million, and neither can Tyson Fury.
Yeah, neither one of them is that big of a draw, man. So it just ain't happening like that.
Once again, I'm not, I'm with your country. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like, look, you take AJ out of this thing, the commercial value is not the same.
It drops. It drops.
So you put up them crazy dollar amounts. These two boys can't bring it back.
So who's gonna what country is gonna host it then? If you guys are saying that the Daily Mail basically ain't got
no. I'm not saying that the Daily Mail is wrong. I'm saying that I think Saudi Arabia will put something up. My question is a question: will it be enough to get Fury in the ring? Because 50, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Not if he knows that AJ got more than that.
So why is it penciled in then? That they wouldn't print that for the fact why they wouldn't. They said it's a day before the World Cup. It makes a lot of sense.
Well, they print it because they've got a source that's told them that that's the case, but it doesn't mean that it's true.
No, but every time I've cited them as a source, it is breaking. And
that's fine, but that doesn't mean that every time. Because remember, you're saying every time you've quoted them. How many times have they been wrong? They've been wrong before. They was wrong about the AJ and Fury fight previously. Gareth A. Davis, I think, works partly with Daily Mail as well. So they do have it wrong sometimes.
Well, Fury was to blame for that. They wasn't wrong. They wasn't wrong. Fury just reneged on the whole thing. They weren't wrong, though.
This is the thing. It's not that the information is bad, Chan. They probably do have it penciled in. But why do you think it says penciled?
I know it's not solid, but for the fact that it's still penciled, it's more leaning towards. They wouldn't print that just for it to say that it's penciled in.
Let me respond to this.
Oh my God.
Fam, your man almost got knocked out by Harold Sconiers. You don't understand boxing.
He got dropped by Dustin Nichols. Get out of here.
Yeah, like the dumbass shit. Like your man literally, and that's a regular on this channel. You've seen the pictures. You know all about what I'm saying. Your man got dropped by Harold Sconiers, and many people who were at Fantasy Springs say, "Yo, if it wasn't for that bell, he was out." Okay.
By the way, Jules, did you know Harold Sconiers had more losses than he had wins?
Oh yeah, I know that, and he's only about 5'9".
Yeah.
Your man got dropped by a 5'9" journeyman, and you think you come on, B. Yeah. Come on, B. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
I just love how they love to down talk somebody who beat 7 of the top 10 heavyweights, somebody who has a gold medal, someone who's a fucking unified champion, and actually got an award from the Queen of England.
Tribalism, bro. That's how tribalism works. People are thinking with their emotions, not their better judgment.
You know what, Jules? You know what it is? I think that these guys are saying this stuff just to probably get a reaction.
No. I've seen some of his comments. He actually believes that. He believes that stuff.
Okay, but damn, I feel sorry for him.
and we could go through the whole thing where I asked the guy, well, you understand boxing, right? So what's the difference between a proper jab and a lazy jab? You understand boxing so much, so surely you can tell me.
Yeah,
please.
Crickets.
That's why they're always in the chat and never on the panel.
Yeah,
I mean, how many times out of 10 when Jules asks them to come on, they never do.
Yeah, I'm not. And the worst thing is the conversation that we're having is not, for the most part, it's not anecdotal. I'm talking about things that Wilder actually admitted. Wilder admitted that he rejected the AJ fight. He admitted that. More recently, he admitted it again. He confirmed that Eddie did actually reach out. But what you guys told Eddie is that you're busy with Robert Hellenius?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
So the Hellenius fight is too fucking important for you to make more money with AJ?
How much is he getting for the Hellenius fight?
That's a good question.
We'll find out.
We'll see. We'll
find out.
Well, you know, a lot of these fighters fans, like some of Fury's fans, they're not only out of control, but some of them are racist. Like that one dude the other night who disagreed, didn't like what you said, Jules, and he turned around and called you a Jew. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, homeboy was racist, man. I mean, it was like, wow.
Well, what did I say? What did I say about Fury? Fury's anti-Semitism, that sentiment, not that I'm Jewish, but Fury's anti-sentiment is shared by his supporters. They are also anti-Semitic.
Yeah, we know. Not
birds of a feather.
Flock to fucking together.
Chan, well, maybe you diss Jake Paul and they'll flock here. Remember that shit?
Yeah. Right.
Well, I hate to break it to the
right. So I'm just looking at this. I'm just looking at this Daily Mail thing, right?
Yeah.
And I can you know what they was talking about. So basically, the reason why the guy is the Prince Mohammed Abdulaziz, right? The sports minister. He's the one that said we are very interested in the fight for undisputed heavyweight title. Those comments were made before the fight happened. It's been printed afterwards, but they were saying we would be looking to do it in Riyadh, but it was before Usyk. It was before Usyk and Joshua 2 took place. So that was obviously that's. Say again.
So that was they were saying if that was for Tyson Fury.
Who's that?
No, it was.
Spanish over there.
He made the comments.
Yeah. He made the comment before.
Yeah, he made the comments before the fight took place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they were saying,
in a nutshell, the comments are being taken out of context. In other words,
but the article I saw. Okay, so it was for Tyson Fury to fight who then? Because it was named.
Tyson Fury. Article you saw is the same one I'm looking at. They've said they have said Fury. They're looking to do Fury, but that's the article. But the comments they're using was what he said prior to that fight taking place. So at that point, they probably thought that AJ was going to win.
Okay.
Which is why Frank Warren has now said that we haven't had any contact from the Saudi for offer.
Look, here's what I know. Here's what I know, right? The comments that because I saw them, and that's why I didn't do a video on them, because I saw that the dates don't match. They're not that whatever that was something that he said before. That's why I didn't do a video on it, because that was something that he said before. I don't know how he feels right now, because according to Frank, the Saudis haven't made an offer yet. Now, I'm not saying that they won't. I cannot say that they won't. I don't know if they won't, but according to Frank, at least as of a day ago, they haven't yet. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to, because Frank Smith, Eddie Hearn's guy, he took a picture with a guy earlier today on Instagram. Matchroom and the Saudis have a literal relationship. They work together. There's going to be a series of shows in that part of the world. I already know that. Whereas Frank and Bob, I don't know that you guys have any relationship with these people. I'm not saying you can't form one, but y'all don't do shows over there, so I don't know what's going to happen.
And I get attacked, Jules. I get attacked for being an Eddie Hearn shield when I like the way they conduct business at Matchroom. And I told Rick Glacier, who says, he's like, well, they have a relationship. I'm like, Rick, Eddie has a relationship with the Saudis because Len Bavlatnik and the Saudis do billion-dollar deals with Warner Music, and Len and them are trying to figure out, because Len owes a lot of like the Warner Music Group. So how to bring more talent and more stuff to the whole UAE Saudi. So that relationship comes from Len.
Exactly.
They're doing billion-dollar deals outside of boxing. Okay. They don't know. They're not doing they don't care what Frank Warren and them are doing. If Frank Warren and Aaron were such this powerhouse together, they wouldn't need the Saudis to subsidize the Fury business to get them in the black when they're in the red.
And that's what this is what I'm saying in a nutshell, because I don't want to make bold proclamations, right? Because they've never done fights out there, because they don't actually have a working relationship with the Saudis, and because Frank said that Saudi hasn't put in any bid yet for the fight, I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, we have to assume that at least until further notice, the Saudis have not put in a bid. Now, I'm saying because that fight was just last week, right? In all likelihood, they're trying to do the numbers or whatever and get a fixed number on what they think Fury versus Usyk is worth if they want it. My thing is, I don't know if they want it. They don't work with those people.
No. Yeah. And on top of that, Jules, they'll want it, but at like we've talked about, they're gonna want it on their terms. They know there's no other bidder. They're not gonna bid against themselves and raise up the price. It's gonna be like, this is what the price is. We don't need you, Frank. We don't need you, Bob. Just give us the fight, and we'll run the show how we want to run the show.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because what they did with Matchroom was they bought it off of Matchroom.
Yeah,
you know
let me ask you this, Jules. You're Eddie Hearn. You know there's a chance Joshua might lose. Aren't you going to talk to the Prince like, hey, what do you want to do if Usyk wins? Aren't you going to kick those tires, like kick the tires with Wilder and all? You're a smart man, Jules. You're a Capricorn, Jules. You're an alien. What are you talking about the Prince? You're Eddie Hearn, Jules. What are you talking about with the Prince with contingencies and the fact if AJ loses? What does that discussion go like?
Well, I mean, off top, I feel that it's a bad omen for this fight that they're trying to do, that they let Usyk go. Matchroom let him go. Now, why would they let him go?
No. But do you know Eddie came out and record like a couple of days ago and said he's after this fight, and he said that basically he spoke to Team Usyk. Yeah, Team Usyk's no longer under Matchroom, but Usyk did express that he feels that Matchroom's done a great job. So Eddie kind of implied that, you know, going forward, maybe he can be a part of the Undisputed, even though AJ is not involved in it. Because
this is what I mean. This is what I mean. If you didn't try to double down to keep Usyk, it must have been because you saw that there was no value. Why would there be no value? Because the Saudis don't actually want Usyk. They're more in the AJ business than the Undisputed business or the Usyk business or the Fury business. The fact that you didn't offer, I don't know if you offered him. There's so much about this that I don't know. But what we do know is, okay, Usyk is a free agent. He's a free agent. If you figured that the Saudis were going to want that fight and you wanted to be involved, wouldn't you have re-signed him?
Well, this is what. Well,
go ahead, lady.
So the implication made that Eddie, why come out and say something like that to the public, to say like Usyk was very happy of what we did. We got him the most money that he could, you know, possibly imagine. And his team expressed that they were very happy with what Eddie Hearn had done. So Eddie expressing that in one of these interviews that I saw yesterday or the day before led me to believe that maybe something is going to happen with Eddie, is going to do something with the Saudis going forward with Usyk. I don't know if he locks Usyk in for a multi-fight deal or just a one-fight deal.
And I want to echo what Lady Chen saying. Look, I want to echo what you're saying, Lady Chen, to expand on that. It's okay, Usyk, I love you, brother. Go become Undisputed. Usyk sees like, well, top Bob and Frank can't do business with these people like Eddie, so I need to get Eddie involved.
Yeah.
Or it's what Julius is saying. Let's be real. Tyson Fury versus Usyk does not command an $88 million.
It doesn't. And I'm being for it doesn't. They know that without AJ, don't you look, without this Undisputed whatever talk, bro, the only fight that them Saudis made a conscious effort to pick up was AJ fights. Not even Usyk, AJ fights, the Ruiz fight, this fight. But I don't see them bidding on every fight. And there's a lot of fights that they could bid on. There's a million fights they could bankroll.
This is what they thought. They gave Usyk enough respect to like, Usyk, we're not even going to charge your country for the fight. We're not worried about that money.
Exactly.
We'll give it to you for free. And on top of what Jules, what I wanted to ask you, Jules, is like you said, it's not. Rick Glazer even came out and said, "Oh, this fight's a pay-per-view fight in America." I'm like, Rick,
no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Like bullshit. The Saudis definitely would have picked up AJ and Fury if he would have still had AJ still had the belts. Yeah. I mean, Usyk is a great fighter, but unfortunately, he got in the way and derailed that. So now the Saudis ain't doing it. But
and that's why I'm not getting ahead of myself making bold proclamations. I want to see if the Saudis are interested in Usyk versus Fury as a fight, because I know This is the thing. This is the main thing. This is the main thing. You pick up that fight. You can't rely on Ukrainian money. You certainly can't rely on American money. You can't. The Americans don't care about that fight. Let's be honest. They don't care about that fight at all. All right.
I mean, Jules, if I was going to ask somebody like, "Hey, you, this is just a random American. Hey, you excited about the Usyk Fury fight?" They'll be like, who? I'm sorry, who?
So let me just close the circuit. Let me just do this. Nobody say nothing. From a business perspective, a Ukrainian versus a Brit there's not a lot of value in that. You can't rely on Usyk to bring forth a large contingent of paying customers. You can't rely on him to do that.
I mean, also too, his country's at war too. So I mean,
but better still, it doesn't, like, even Ukrainians that are abroad. The point that I'm making is that the Ukrainian fan base. Now, if it were two Brits, AJ versus Fury, undisputed, which may be what they were thinking, that maybe AJ will make it through this, and if he wins, we pick up that fight. Because we know that AJ is global. Tack on Fury, and it's a big fight, a very big fight. But a Ukrainian versus a Brit—that's not going to sell in America at all.
So who hosts it then?
And then, okay, in the UK, yeah, you could move the needle a bit in the UK. But is it a $150 million fight?
No.
Is it a $200 million? No.
And what did Frank say? The only time he told the truth in that interview, Jules, is what he said. We won't make enough money in the UK. It won't get the fighters what they want.
What he said was they won't be able to do it at Cardiff because they won't be able to make enough money. So they'd have to wait until April or later because they want to do it. They'd have to do it at Wembley to try and make the money, and you can't do that in the winter time. Whereas Cardiff has got the roof, but apparently 80,000 isn't enough to pay them. So.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you know that's bullshit. Because what's another 20,000 going to do?
Now, my point is the value of Usyk, and I don't want to shit on Usyk. I'm not trying to be fucked up, but it's just the value is not the same. We've known that. We've known that from the beginning. That Fury versus Usyk is not the same financial pot that AJ versus Fury would have. It ain't. So if the money, so let's say they look at the fight. They put a value on it, and the value of that fight is less than what they just spent for AJ versus Usyk. Does Fury fight?
No.
So what happens? Does he get stripped then?
No fight.
And then
you know where that green belt's going to, Lady Chan.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think Fury wants that to go to Wilder because he already came out saying that Wilder's basically you ain't taking none.
It's hard for me to imagine that Fury will take that. And I'm not saying that he won't. I'm just saying for me, it's hard to imagine that he would take on that fight for a meager 50 million when AJ just boxed for 75 off a loss. But what you want to give me is 50? No, I feel like Fury will raise a stink and he'll try to get more money. And if he can't get more money,
no fight.
I mean, it's crazy, Jules. When AJ got over 100 after all the endorsements, everything, Usyk got 75 with his tally. I'm sorry, Fury, they're not going to pay you more than AJ. You're not worth more than AJ.
And listen, that's where I draw the line and say, I'm not going to assume what they're going to do. I'm going to let it play out, but I just don't feel like Fury's going to fight for 50 when AJ just got 75. Well, really, he got 119, but that was the extras, the endorsements, not the Saudis. The Saudis gave him 75 off a loss. Will Fury box for 50?
Will Fury box for 75 milli then? Would you say that?
He's going to want more than AJ. It just weighs more.
That's how I feel. I feel like, honestly, he would want more than AJ got.
And the logic is, and we're just dealing like what I love about Jules. We deal with facts and logic here. No bloviating, no hyperbole. So when Rick Glacier says like, "Oh, this is a pay-per-view fight in America," ESPN will get behind it. I'm like, Rick, you do know the Saudis are going to give that fight to. They're going to give that fight if Showtime wants that fight. If DAZN wants that fight.
Like the fact that he said, look, Rick knows his shit.
You saw that thread. Yeah, he does.
No, I saw it. Don't get me wrong. And I feel like, Rick knows his shit. But when it comes to certain subjects, you can see, like, fam, a Ukrainian versus a Brit is not a pay-per-view in America. Please stop lying.
Yeah,
that is not.
Hey Chan, tell him who Rick thought Anthony Joshua's comeback opponent should be.
He thought it should be Nathan Gorman. Could you believe that? Could you believe that? I went, no. I had to shut it down, didn't I, AJ? I went, nah, mate.
Yes, sorry. You did.
I'm like. In other words, do what you did with White, right? You made that a pay-per-view in America, and I asked, well, what did it sell? Under 100,000. And anybody who knows Dillian, anybody who knows Wilder, or they know AJ, or they know Fury, they also know Dillian White. Now, if you want to put that fight as a pay-per-view in America, you can do that, but it's not going to make any money.
No, it won't. Nathan Foreman, Nathan.
You know who I want. You know who I want for AJ's comeback fight, because he deserves a softest touch because he's worked so hard. Pull up Eric Molina or Chris Areola. Give him a break. He deserves a break, doesn't he, Jules? He's been carrying the fucking division since he fucking left the Olympics.
Fuck it.
Facts.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
But look, all fuckery aside, when I look at, which is why I haven't taken a stance on it, because I literally don't know. I know that the Saudis have a lot of money, but you don't get a lot of money by fucking off money. And if you give this guy 150, 200 mil, if you try and satisfy his demands, that will far exceed the value of the fight, because it's not box office in America. They're not going to buy that fight. And it's not enough people in the UK that you would have to sell 4 million pay-per-view buys, bro.
And on top of that, the reason Saudis like AJ, because AJ brings those blue chip corporate endorsements.
Yes.
To Saudi. Look at the hypocrisy. People are saying like, oh, the golfer shouldn't take the Saudi money. None of the fucking endorsements dumped AJ for going to Saudi Arabia and fight. They all happily went over there to promote their brands with the Saudis, and the Saudis know that. Tyson Fury doesn't have. Who does Tyson Fury have? Fucking sausage companies promoting him?
Who does he
have?
You ain't wrong. Companies.
No, because all jokes aside, this is actually relevant to the conversation that because this guy is not the same draw that AJ is, they're not going to look at the pot as being the same size pot. So whatever they guarantee him is going to be based on the value of the fight. And if they value it, okay, 50 for Fury, 50 for Usyk, I really want, will Fury fight for that amount of money? 50?
And for the record, like you said, Jules, wait. For the record, that comment is not off base, because Tyson Fury is really interested in sausages.
I better see when this is cut. Listen, when this is cut up, I better see the Oscar Mayer wiener bus when this is cut up.
Oh no!
That man is a genius with graphics.
Hebrew National wants Hebrew National. All 100%.
Whatever they eat in New York. What do they eat in New York? Hebrew National.
Jump Tube said. Jump Tube said. King Fahd Stadium just renovated to hold 80,000. Now, okay, I'm trying to figure out, where do you get the money to come from, right? If you got two guys and they're not necessarily big draws, how can you generate the money? And I'm like, could they, with that 80,000 people, could they look to generate the money that way? Because I don't know specifically what. Fury's saying $500 million, but come on, you don't actually want $500 million.
Never mind, renovations just started, won't be completed till 26.
Well, there you go. Then that fucks off that fucking idea that I was about to brainstorm. Because I'm like, I don't know what number he wants. I feel in my gut what he wants is 100. You know, like 100. And I'm like, yo, if you give him 100 and the pot and the split is a 50-50 split, that means 200 million. 200 million. Is this a $200 million fight? No.
Well, here's a question. Or here's what they just have to do. The Saudis, all they really have to do is say, okay, like, you want this amount of money. All right, cool. What did your last pay-per-view generate? Because we still ain't seen the pay-per-view buys for that. What did the Wilder 3 fight generate? What did the second one generate? What did Valine generate? What did Schwartz generate? What did the first one generate? Let's see your value. And okay, we'll put a multiplier on it, maybe 1.25 or 2 or times 2. If that doesn't reach the 100 that you want, shut the fuck up.
I think it
and
does.
my brother, no, listen. What you just said.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
He got the ESPN deal, and that was.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Right. Just Fury's last pay-per-view was a UK pay-per-view. It did absolutely nothing in America. So if they look at that pay-per-view, they're going to look at the value of that pay-per-view based on what are mostly $20 pay-per-views, $25 pay-per-views in the UK, right? Which comes out to approximately, let's just entertain that Frank got his money back. Let's just play with that, right? Because at least we know what the size of the pot is. The size of that pot is $41 million. So best case scenario, you're a $30 million fighter.
Yeah.
You're not a $100 million fighter.
Yeah.
We won't get, remember, we don't get anything extra from Usyk. We don't get 100 million. We don't get that from him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So that's why I keep thinking like
what you just.
Go ahead.
What you just said, brother. What you just said about the Saudis looking at the books. That's the same dilemma PBC's having with Crawford. When Crawford said, "Okay, you're this draw arrow. This is what you do. Okay, let me see. Fuck that. I'm not taking no back end money. My price is 12 up front." Because you bullshitting this whole time and you devalue this fight.
That's what I mean. It to me it's simple. I don't know. In my gut tells me that fight didn't break even. That's what my gut tells me. But I also don't know if Fury really got 30 because they could have scamped that. They could have told the fib. They could have worked together. They could have colluded to make sure that Eddie doesn't get the rights. I firmly believe that Fury's willing to lie about what he got just so that he doesn't end up on a Matchroom show. Did Frank Warren really spend $41 million? Did he really? All right, I'll go with it. $41 million. At most, you got your money. And that's me being nice because I don't actually believe you got your money.
That's you being very fucking nice.
Exactly. But all that means is that at most, you're a $30 million fighter.
Yeah.
At most, because Anthony Joshua just got $44 million extra in corporate money on top of his fighter purse. So how much? If he got $44 million from his sponsors, how much more sponsorship did they spend in Saudi?
No,
okay.
If we look at
AJ, go ahead.
If we look at the situation where you got a $30 million fighter who's demanding what, 100? You want what? You want 3 times, really more than 3 times what you're actually worth? Are we going to pay that out just to make this fight?
Yeah.
This is what that's why I wonder.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be very interesting finding out because I don't know what's going to happen and I don't presume to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just know that at most, you're a $30 million fighter. And that's if I entertain that pay-per-view actually breaking even. I don't think it broke even.
Me either.
I don't.
Me either. There's no
let's ask Alexis because he should know. He works at Top Rank.
You want me to believe that over 1 million Brits bought a fight that had no buildup because Dillian wouldn't participate in the press conferences, remember? Which affected the promotion. I don't know that you actually sold 1 million pay-per-views in the UK. The number that sticks out to me is 900,000. I don't believe you broke even. And for you to break even with a $41 million pot at minimum, you would have needed to sell 1.1 million pay-per-views in the UK and a little over 200,000 in America. That's the only way you break even because you put the value of the fight at 41. Initially, you valued it at 25. That's close to double the money you put in the pot. Did you get that back? I don't think you got that back.
Frank said that the PPV, even though it wasn't released, he said he knows the numbers and it was more than what AJ had done on his last PPV.
And this is why I know that's bullshit. The broadcast rights for the fight, they got $1 million from HBO, $1 million from Showtime. RTL bought they had foreign money coming in just to be able to host Joshua versus Klitschko. What foreign money was there for Fury versus White? What foreign money? Foreign money?
There was none. No.
What sponsorship money? How much sponsorship money came? How much corporate money came?
There wasn't. There was none. That's why they had to make that bid and all chip in together to make this happen.
And that's how Lady Chen, that's how I told Jules. That's how the Saudis look at these dudes. Like, these are nickel and dime dudes. We deal with billionaires. We cut billion-dollar deals. Outside of boxing is just for our entertainment and to make our country a 21st century country.
Yeah.
Like that's why they want this fight during the World Cup final. They want it during that time to promote.
Yeah, but are they willing? Are they? And you know, it's repetitive, but it's the point is what number does Fury really want? Is it, say, 100 million or 150 million? And will the Saudis be willing to pay that out? Because I don't think the value of the fight is actually 150 million. I really don't think. No, bro.
Okay, let's be real. And your Capricorn crystal ball. I know you don't want to make no bold proclamations, Jules, but your Capricorn crystal ball that you've been talking about for 2 hours, in your gut, does this fight happen?
I feel like they would try to convince him to take 50. They would try to convince Fury to take 50. Bob would.
And if he takes it, what then? Then you could say, Shan, you was fucking right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I feel like, look, because Bob is a no-nonsense guy, and that is also consistent. Like, bro, what you want is not there, bro. Simple as. You might want 100. It's not there, bro.
How much would you value the fight, Jules? If you was in Detroit, how much would you value, honestly, that fight?
You want my honest opinion?
Always.
That whole fight is a $50 million fight. Whole fight.
Yeah, I was thinking
the whole fight. Not 50 for Fury and 50 for Usyk. The whole fight.
Yeah.
The most $50 million.
So 25 apiece, 25 mil apiece.
Because and I'm not trying to knock him, but Usyk adds no market value to the fight. He doesn't. None.
But then could Usyk put his feet in the mud and say, well, I'm not taking 25 million. I just fucking got 40, 50 million with Joshua.
Usyk's mindset is different. And I know, like, this is going to sound like some cheesy shit, right? But if I believe in me, that 25 is for me because I know I can beat you. I know I can beat you. Whatever's on the pot. Oh, now this one's 25. Oh, because no AJ, right? But I know I can beat this fat.
Yeah, got you. He made
you just look at Usyk's constitution and how his energy when he looks at the camera. It's not even about the 25. It's I'm doing this for glory. I'm already set. I want to fuck you up.
Yeah. Like in other words, if you put me, if it's, I'll put myself in his shoes, right? Yeah. And I believe that I can beat you. All I see is extra money for me because I know I can beat you. Oh, so I'll take 25. I'll take it. I'll take it. No fuss. No, I'll take it. But because I can beat him.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever, I could beat him. Whatever gets the fight done, as long as it's not too low, whatever gets the fight, I'll take it because I know I can beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if it's 20's fair for Usyk, he'll take 20.
He might even take 20.
But if Egas, you can see that Egas is a no nonsense guy. Like, look, Usyk, this is the pot, bro. So do you want the fight?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And
that's how I see that conversation going. Fuck it.
And look how Fury's moving like a guy that don't want this fight.
I mean, he is.
He is.
I don't, and I'm very careful with this thing because I don't want to convince myself of anything. What I tell myself is, look, maybe Fury's not scared of this guy, but maybe Fury's lazy. And he's like, look, bro, unless you're going to offer me a fuck ton of money, I'm not doing another camp. Unless you're going to offer me a fuck ton of money. I'm not going to equate it to fear, even though I could, because there's precedence to do so. He's always acted weird whenever this guy gets brought up. But fuck that. Fuck the fear and fuck all that and just say, look, I'm not doing another camp unless I'm going to get an inordinate amount of money. Because I already make a lot of money.
Week camp. But you know that's lies. But he said, I can beat Usyk just doing a one. All I need is a week camp. That's what he said. But you know that's
what he said.
Of course that's bullshit. But it's more like if I entertain every scenario, the one that fits is that Fury has already made a lot of money. He's lazy and he doesn't want to do another camp. Not unless it's worth a lot of money. So that fits. And I'm like, okay, the main thing for me is what does Fury actually want? Do you want $100 million? Because I don't think this is 100. No,
I don't.
He wants to forget. He wants people to forget about this. He doesn't realize that AJ could have dropped the belts like he did when he got the belts from Klitschko and not defend his mandatories.
Like I don't think for a second that if you told Usyk, yo, this is only 25 for you, bro, or this is only 20 for you, bro. If it's me and given what's going on, all I see is extra money that's already mine because I can beat him.
Yeah.
That's how that dude is. That's why he was willing to go into Russia. Remember, before this invasion kicked off, there was a big thing that, yo, if you fight Gassiev, they want to do it in Russia. And he had to stop and think, fuck it, I'm going. That's what he did. Fuck it, I'm going. Going to Russia. He beat Gassiev there, one-sided.
Yeah, he's a warrior. So, and you got to remember when Tyson Fury was initially was asked to fight Usyk just in case if AJ was going to step aside. What did he want? A tune-up?
He said I'm not fighting him.
No, he wanted a tune-up.
Remember, they paid Dillian White and AJ to step aside, and he still wanted a tune-up.
No, well, they didn't pay him.
Yep. I forgot about that.
Well, they were going to pay them. Remember?
And Eddie came out and said Tyson Fury wanted a tune-up before doing the Usyk fight, so that would have delayed it. Plus, with a rematch, so AJ would have been waiting on the side. Remember that? Yeah.
I forgot that wasn't even that long ago. That was a whole thing. That Aegis Climax came out and said, "You lying, fam?
You lying?" Yeah.
That was this year, Jules. That was this year.
That was just the other day,
bruh.
And
so,
Jules, and when does Aegis ever come out and talk about what a fighter said?
Never. He don't be in
the fuck shit.
He never. So look, I'm gonna just wrap it up with this. I'm not gonna say that the fight isn't gonna happen. I don't know that, but I just feel like maybe what Fury wants is something close to 100 million, and I don't know if this is 100 million. Like, I don't see $100 million fight. Being honest with you,
Just be honest, because it's not. It really isn't,
bro. To look, nobody say nothing. Just let me do this. The core market, your core consumer that you're trying to get at when it comes to this fight is an Englishman, right? So $100 million in value, let's just call it 100 million, rough number, right? You would have to sell 4 million pay-per-view buys at a price point of $25 US dollars, 19 pounds, $25. At that price point, you'd have to sell 4 million pay-per-view buys to generate 100 million. Does this fight sell 4 million in the UK? Because the Ukrainians aren't going to buy it. They're in the middle of a war.
Facts.
Where does the other value come from? Not America. The Americans don't care about a Ukrainian and a Brit.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest. There's only really two giants as far as boxing markets: UK, America. Take America out because they don't give a shit. Okay, you got the UK. How much can you generate in the UK at the box office with this fight? Not 4 million pay-per-view buys, bro.
You know what's funny though too. In all honesty, right now, the Saudis would pay 100 million for Joshua Wilder.
Yeah, I think
that's still 100 million. That's $100 million fight because that'll be a pay-per-view fight here.
Yeah.
Like if you talk about an AJ fight, remember that one thing that is not being factored in 190 territories around the world, DAZN had the rights, right? The only one place they didn't have the rights really was the UK. Sky had the rights in the UK. Sky paid 28 million, but everywhere else in 190 territories, DAZN had the rights for the fight. And that justifies the spending. Why? Perhaps you have subscribers that don't want a month's worth of content, but they just want to see this fight. That turns this fight into a mini pay-per-view at the cost of a monthly subscription. So you're going to get that odd $9 here, $20 there in all these different markets. And the spending to make the fight between Joshua and Usyk is justified. But that's with DAZN involved. DAZN is not involved in this anymore. It's just Bob, Frank, Usyk, and Fury. Is ESPN, are they going to do anything? BT, are they gonna do anything? Like, are they gonna, because the money has to come from somewhere. When the zone was involved, you knew where the money was gonna come from. That, look, we're gonna get Americans, we're gonna get an influx of American subscribers. It's not gonna be a bunch, but we are gonna get an influx of American subscribers that decide to watch this fight. So some money will come from there, and some money will come from Europe, and some money might come from Australia. You have an idea of where the money's going to come from, but that was when DAZN was involved. DAZN is not involved with Fury. DAZN is not involved with Usyk. So where does the money come from for you to justify this being $100 million fight?
Okay, I want to say this. Tyson Fury, I think he understands that maybe it's never gonna have the kind of career that AJ had. It's not, because it's not up to. But he understands this. He has this ability to sell a fight, to corner it, to whatever you to make it, not as a bona fide legacy fight, but as a novelty act. He can sell. There's still opportunities for them, even outside the ring. For example, if he goes a crossover fight against an MMA guy, he can make a shit ton of money. So your theory makes sense, because maybe he cannot get the kind of money he wants from the Usyk fight, but if he don't get that money, he can go do other shit, WWE, whatever. But he can get, if he plays his cards right, in a safer situation, when he doesn't.
But that's Leo. But that's a trade-off, because, believe it or not, fighting a Francis Ngannou is a more valuable opponent option with less risks. But it's a more valuable opponent option than Usyk because of that MMA fan base that will tune in. You see what I mean? That if it's Ngannou, you're adding value to the pot. If it's Usyk, there is not enough of a Ukrainian fan base that will create the value that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because what you say was this, basically. If you're not, I'm not going to do a full camp for this guy who I think it might be a problem, for $50 million or 100. It needs to be more than that. If I cannot get this money, do I want for this problematic guy that could be a blemish on my career? I just stay retired and try to find another way to make more money.
Yeah, Francis Ngannou.
Yeah,
but then also, fellas, that Ngannou fight has to be in America, because the driving force of that pay-per-view is the American MMA pay-per-view buyer, not the UK.
That is 100% true.
Can't get into the States at the minute, so
that's not gonna happen.
Or you can flip it. See, there's two ways you can play an Ngannou situation. You can do it in America, in Las Vegas, big gate, big pay-per-view buys, because the MMA fans are here. Or you do it in the UK. You send Francis to the UK, but you still bill it as a pay-per-view in America in the afternoon. You can make up the value.
Do that, yeah. That could work.
And the American MMA fans, they'll tune into a fight that comes on at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. They will. They're
not like us, like the ones.
But the difference is that Ngannou, unlike Usyk, creates value with a fan base that spends money. Because MMA fans buy pay-per-views. They do. You know what I mean?
How much are they?
Our pay-per-view, MMA pay-per-views are $69.99.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And they buy them every month, at least 300,000 every month.
Wow.
Exactly. So if you think about that, in the UK, just think about Ngannou versus Usyk in the UK, because Fury can't enter into the country in the US. In the UK, that fight probably does north of 750,000. Maybe not 1 million, maybe not, but 750,000, just because of the spectacle of it, right? And then in America, you get another 320 something, but at a much higher price point, 60 something. There's value in that. And Fury would take it because, bro, this is not a boxer. This is an MMA guy. I'm going to box circles around this dude.
Yeah.
There's no risk, but there's money.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm tired. It's fucking late. I'll catch you on the next one.
All right, nice.
Go grab some ass.
Me on, Jules. Have a good night,
Go grab
everybody.
some ass.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good